Shirt show. All right, let's go.
Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Shirt, man! All right! Episode 74 of Shirt Show! We're talking with the Christinas at Varsity Sports Shop in Florida. Let's go! Shirt show!
Hey there, shit stick. Can you hear me? Hey, is it working?
I can't hear you. I can't.
Is it working?
I got you. Okay. Yeah, perfect. Dude,
Hey,
here we are, Saturday.
I know.
You know what this is? It's Devil's Night.
Devil's Night.
Mhm.
Are you going to do some devilish stuff or are you going to go home, go to bed, wait for tomorrow?
I'm a mild boy. You know the answer to
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm. I was ultra mild boy last night.
Hmm.
What are you
Why
doing
is
with
that?
those? Some booby lifters?
So you know how everybody's like, oh, get yourself some spatulas, use it for
Yeah.
ink or use it for emulsion, all that kind of stuff. But I like it just for like, employees do something wrong.
Spanking them on the butt?
No,
I feel like that's
No.
I feel like that's not around anymore. It's not allowed. That might be an HR issue.
it is. It is in Missouri. We can do it here.
Pankins.
Pankins, yeah.
Pankins.
How was your week?
You know how when we got back from Pro Hustlers, we were like, oh, it'll be nice to like decompress and like, get back to it. And then you get back to it and it's a fucking shit show.
Yeah, I know. I know how that is. Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that bad, actually. Like work was fine. Like work, we were busy as fuck. We had a lot to do. We got it done. It wasn't that bad. It came in hot. That's all I'm saying.
I want to clarify that too, because it wasn't that bad, right? It wasn't bad. It's good to be busy, but it was extraordinarily busy, like insanely busy. I came into an email asking if we can squeeze 8 orders in.
Squeeze 8 orders in?
Yeah. Guess what Andy got? Went to Starbucks.
Guess what Dylan got?
What'd you get, Dilly? Ooh, yeah, that's tough. It looked like a G.
Some fresh apple cider.
So I bought some apple cider at Target. So it's not like I went to the farm like you.
Local,
I wish I could.
Local, yeah.
You know what? I think it is local though. Like the cider at our Target is somewhat local. It said it on the thing, on the sign anyway.
It said local on it.
Right. I could choose and I chose Honeycrisp. I don't know if I chose wrong, but
Okay.
It's good. It's pretty good.
I don't think I've ever looked on the cider to see what actual apples are used.
Yeah. Well, you could choose. I had the choice between Honeycrisp in New York, and I wasn't going to fucking choose.
Right. That would have been like,
That's right.
it would have just been pieces of me in it.
Do we even grow apples up there? I doubt it.
No.
Mm.
It's not like an Apple logo for our fucking state or anything.
Oh, the Big Apple. That's why they call it that. I thought it was because of Apple, like the phone.
Yeah. Yep. That's why.
Oh, okay. Remember this? We got one of those guys.
Mine's right there.
I can't see it.
It's on the alien.
Well, you remember when we ran into Miles, the dude that gave us those mini Gildan shirts with shirt show on
Yes,
it?
sir.
He said that, who are we talking to that liked those chips? Oh, damn it.
Although he was going to send us the pretzels.
Yeah. What were those pretzels called? Like dots.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yours are probably in the mail still
Right.
because it takes longer to get to the Big Apple. But check this out. I'm thinking that's what's in here. And
We got a fresh
sure
reveal.
as shit. This is Dot's home style. Can you see that?
I can see my eyes work.
And then we
Original
got, cheese curls. Wait, those aren't pretzels. Baked cheese curls.
That's right up my alley. Can I taste
North
one?
Dakota.
Can I taste one?
Holy hell. Yeah. You want me to?
Yeah, throw it to me.
Which one? Which one?
Cheese. I want cheese. Right here. Taking forever.
You got to let me open this motherfucker.
Forever.
Look at that. I love it. You know what I love is when it has the Ziploc.
You know what I love is when you tease me with this. Just fucking throw me one.
Jeez. I don't know what it is to be like your wife, I guess, right?
Yeah. Mmm.
You smell pretty good.
Oh, that crunch. So fresh.
I don't know if they're fresh. I just started eating.
Is it a cheese curl or is it a pretzel?
Cheese curl. Small town recipe.
Oh,
big time flavor.
Listen to that ASMR you're giving everyone right now.
Yeah. So,
thanks, Miles.
Thanks, Miles.
Miles creating smiles.
And guess what I can do? Lock it back up.
That's not how that works. You gotta actually seal it. There you go.
Yeah, I did it at the end there. I was trying to be cool, but
it's difficult for you. I get it.
It's impossible. But it doesn't hurt to try.
Impossible, right? Hey.
What's a vampire's favorite fruit?
A blood orange?
That's a good answer. I think it could be a blood orange also. But the answer I have is nectarine.
Nectarine? So come on, that's fucking lame. Hey.
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 Hey, Dylan.
Hey, Andy.
What did one ghost say to the other ghost?
Get the fuck out of my way.
Do you believe in people?
They were people at one point.
Oh, that's how it works. Yeah, I forgot. I didn't write the joke. All right. Okay. So, hey. Easy Ways line of eco-friendly chemicals.
He told you never to do that again.
No, he said he loved it.
No, he didn't. He said, Andy, please don't ever do that ever again. Stop reading that.
I can't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Easy Ways line of eco-friendly chemicals will get the job done faster, more efficiently, and will cost you a fraction of the cost per.
I'm not taking part. Alex, I'm on your side.
We're going to wait. We're waiting. The people want to hear it.
Oh, fucking have fun sitting here.
All right. I'm going to eat some more dots, I think.
Okay.
Right in front of you.
Sit here and drink this.
You're going to get really, really jealous. Oh, what would you rather have? A sip of whatever the fuck?
Cider?
Cider or cheese curls? From North Dakota.
I'd rather have some cheese curls right now.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a cheese curl if you just say screens. That way we can move on.
All right. Give me one. Oh, yeah. Let me crack it open. Your tiny little soft hands can't open that package or what?
Here, take it from my mouth.
Okay. You gonna baby bird it to me? Are we Lady in the Tramping it?
All right, I'm waiting.
All right. Fraction of the cost per screen.
Just wasn't the same. It wasn't the same.
Easy way.
Yeah.
It's the easiest way.
Dude, I say the first part.
Well, get it
You
fucking
say
done.
the last part.
Okay.
All right. So I just breathed in a bug, I think.
Just breathed in a bug.
Like it was a little.
Imagine being a bug and then just fucking Andy Rudman sucks you in.
Some bugs might like that.
Okay.
You ready?
Ready?
Mm-hmm. Frank. Yeah. So a pallet of Franks showed up this week.
Ooh.
Yeah. And you know what? Showed up just in time.
What?
You know the feeling when you haven't watched enough screens and you fucking need screens?
And then a pallet shows up.
That's the best feeling in the world. You're like, look at that.
Truly is. Yeah.
So it showed up and everybody jumped up and down for joy, hugged and kissed. And we just coated those fuckers. And
right. We had a talk. We had a beautiful dinner with Frank when we were in Chicago. It was a wonderful time.
You know what that motherfucker did? So you know how we told that story last time, how he wanted to pay and then I ended up paying for that time.
Yeah.
I texted him. I said, hey, screens showed up. They're so beautiful. And then he texted me back and he said, welcome. Look at your invoice. I gave you a dinner credit. You believe that shit?
he won. He was gonna.
He fucking won.
Yeah, he would win. He's not gonna not win.
I said, there better not be. He didn't reply. He
doesn't have time for that shit.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. So how do you get a hold of Frank?
Well, there's 3 ways, Dylan. You can go to the OG way, which is graphicscreenfashion.com.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to FFFFF.
Rank.com.
Right. And there's a third and best way, preferred way.
Greatfuckingscreens.com.
Mm-hmm. It gets the most, what'd you call it? Traction? No. Trackage. Yeah. So that website gets a lot of trackage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Greatfuckingscreens.com.
Action Engineering, they make accessories printers need.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know
the Muffin Man?
What? You say that every time. Every single time. Muffin
You
Man.
fucking tee it up for me.
Okay. Well, do you know what tracking number 1Z383780374183607 is?
No, Andy, tell me.
That is a tracking number to a roller squeegee that I purchased, our third. And I love it when you buy something and then you get a UPS ship notification and it says, hey,
like an hour later.
Bought. Yeah. And it says, hey, guess what? This is going to be here on Monday. And it's what it said.
Mm-hmm. If UPS has anything to do with it, it'll be there a week late.
Well, that's not very nice to say.
Well, they've been bending me over lately. So I actually just bought a ton of stuff from Action on Thursday. I got all fresh pallet rubber, peel and stick rubber ready to go. And I used that shirt show discount too.
Mm-hmm.
Saved me like $167, I think.
Yeah, that's rad, isn't it? So if you don't know, you go and you put the items in your cart that you're going to buy. And then you go to checkout and there's like a coupon code and you enter what?
Shirt show.
That's right. So check them out. Action Engineering, actionengineering.com. Next we have. Oh my God. I was listening to some morning show or afternoon show. I don't remember anymore. And it was this lady and she was reading like sponsors and she was doing such a good job. I'm like, man, I wish I could do that. You could hear her. She was enunciating her words perfectly. And
not us.
That's not how we do it.
Guys. It's a fucking shit show.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's real every time.
You hear stories like Dylan just bought some
pallet rubber.
That's so, interesting.
Yeah, so interesting.
You know? Right. Monarch, they have a high opacity mixing system.
They sure do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had to order a 5 of ULT2 because apparently we've been doing a lot of poly lately.
Do you know what ULT stands for?
In my mind, it's ultimate.
You know.
Say it. Tell me, what is this?
I'm going to whisper it to you and then you say it loud. Okay.
All right. Let me listen.
It stands for ultra low temp.
Ultra low temp is what it is. Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it is.
I like ultimate better. Monarch Yeti Ultimate.
Well, it's ultra low temp, and that's important to know because then you can
ultra low temp is lame. It's lame.
But it's lame. No, because that's how you can cure it lower.
But it's ultimate if it cures low and it's awesome. You want to say ultimate and have like fucking lightning bolts and shit shooting out. You don't want to say ultra low temp ink.
Well, look, ink better, print better, be better.
Live Moss.
Monarch.
That's what it is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Get that Monarch.
Cool. Well, hey. Today's guests plural, not one, two. You may think it's one because they're both Christina, but it's two actually. And it's Christina and Christina. And how you differentiate the two is one is spelled with a K.
It's salt and pepper.
Yeah.
They're blonde and a brunette.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they are from Varsity Sports Shop in Fort Pierce, Florida.
Pierce. Perfect.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Man, I like that set on the right, my right. That looks awesome.
I love how you have a shit beard.
I gave her mine. I had to cut a hole in it, and then she couldn't find her. Whatever.
I am handsome as fuck. Look at me.
I love how she's sitting on my lap, like I'm right behind her, sort of.
Like you're breathing her. Look at my eyes. They're fucking terrifying.
You look handsome, Dylan.
You said it.
Mm-hmm. It's perfect. Let's just keep it the rest of the time.
Good night.
You gotta hold really still. That's the trick.
Well, no, I'm trying to find the right spot.
When you sign off, you got to do the Dylan and just like hold a pose.
Oh, I feel like the Dylan is when you are talking about something and then Andy and Chad just like end it before you find the answer.
Mm-hmm. It's classic.
Just cut you off, and you're like, "No, you better not end it. You better wait." Chad's like, "Nope."
Mm-hmm. I love that part or those parts.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna get dude.
Demand.
I think we should keep it like
I think this is good. I like this. I like looking at myself. It's hot. I need to change my pants.
Perfect.
So how's it going? How's your Sunday?
It's Saturday.
Oh yeah, shit. It's Saturday. Holy shit, it's Saturday.
Yeah, because we don't have to work tomorrow. It's great.
It's
Isn't
Halloween.
that crazy how we're so used to doing this on Sundays that when you said that, I was like, yeah, how's your Sunday?
Yeah.
It's normal.
You guys have a whole day off tomorrow and you get to go trick-or-treating.
That's right.
Or to steal your kids' candy. That's what I do. Yeah, that's what Derek does too.
So we all had a great time at Print Hustlers in Chicago. And then Dylan and I left like normal people, but not you guys. You guys had an experience.
Good. We did.
An adventure.
Christina wanted to stay one extra day afterwards to like really implement things and, come up with a game plan when we come back to the shop and implement all this awesome stuff. I was like, fine, we'll leave on Monday. Great. No problem. It got canceled.
Like 8:30. Our flight was 11:30 and we got a text. We got a text earlier.
Dude, it's great though. Thank God we had United. They like texted us before we even left the hotel. So at that point, we knew we were either going to stay or we were going to go somewhere. So
instead of pouting and being pissed off that your flight is canceled, you guys made something out of it. It sounds like anyway.
Yeah. We're not often
we don't pout.
pissed off. Yeah. We turn everything into fun.
That's right.
Tell us how it went down.
So
Fun.
which
She's
part?
the
Okay.
boss, so I just
Yeah, whatever. Kind of bossy, not so much. Anyway, so we extended our room stay and then we were talking, well, it was really crappy outside in Chicago.
when you guys left, it got really windy, super rainy. We went and had lunch with Lucas from Graphic Source and had awesome pizza. Holy crap. Came back and we're like, well, we're either going to stay here or we're not going to stay here. So we decided to check out and see how much it would be to get a mic check. So we decided to rent a car. It was super cheap. So we went ahead, rented the car and drove to Ohio and checked out Gorilla Joe's place because they're our buds.
Because it's Joe.
Because it's Joe.
And Nate.
And Nate.
Best mustache in the business besides Alex.
It's true.
Oh, yeah.
I do feel like he looks like Alex, like his little brother.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he could totally be his little brother.
I was going to say son, but I don't think Alex is that old.
No.
Sorry, Alex. So then we partied in
Cleveland-ish.
Cleveland rocks.
Youngstown.
Cleveland
we went
rocks.
to, we stayed in Youngstown. We got there like, I don't know,
11.
midnight.
Yeah.
Ate some snacks, went to bed and got up and checked out the ranch. So it was pretty cool.
And then what happened then, though?
Oh, it gets better.
We drove to the airport and a bunch of weather moved in while we were driving. And we're from Florida. We are pretty damn experienced in driving in shit weather, but not experienced in driving in Nissan Altima or Toyota Camry or whatever.
Yeah,
we drive big cars here. So it pushed us all over the road. It was sketchy. And then we ended up missing our flight.
literally
Again.
barely.
Yeah. No, it was a pretty good miss, I'll be honest.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. So then we ended up just staying at the airport, but it worked out because the flight that flew to Newark got canceled out of Newark. So we would have been stuck in Newark anyway.
Newark, yeah.
And we got a direct flight home.
Yeah. So
The next morning on like a jet.
We got home at 11. It was an hour and a half drive. So we showed up at the shop around like 12:30. So we got
straight to work.
yeah.
It's not bad.
No.
And then
So you
it
got
was
back-
So good to walk in the door though.
You got back from a 5-day trip and decided to literally drive from the airport to work?
Yeah.
we didn't really have a choice.
That's how we
What are
roll.
we gonna do? Go home? Our families weren't home.
Mine was. Derek was home.
I mean,
He
kind
worked
of.
from
He's
the
working,
house,
so,
yeah.
but not like home. So also we came up like so much at Print Hustlers that I couldn't even imagine what would I do at home. Like we wanted immediately, like the whole way home, we were talking about everything we wanted to do.
You
Like
came
the-
off that. You came off that Print Hustlers high, and you wanted to
Yeah,
get right to
We
it.
did.
Yeah,
we
like-
were so excited when we walked in the door here to like tell
Dopamine.
everybody everything that we learned and check and obviously to check and see how everybody was doing and just get the ball rolling again. So and being away that 2 extra days slowed down some of the process, especially in screen print. Everybody else was fine. Screen print though, because we had issues like ordering and making sure things were here on time. So my girls here, had an opportunity to clean and do stuff that I didn't really want them to do, but it's fine. Whatever. Yeah.
So what were
That's
your biggest takeaways from Print Hustlers? Each of you, I'm sure, have different answers. So one of you go first.
Gosh, there's so much I don't know. How about that? Number one thing, so much I don't know.
So much to learn.
Yeah.
I think in the day-to-day, we are lucky to have each other to talk. Like we get to work with our best friend. Like I get to work with my best friend and we talk through everything, but it's just the two of us.
Just
So it's-
do
Cue the song.
I
Yeah.
know. So it was nice to be in the presence of other people who get a lot of things that no one else gets.
it. Right.
No, I
Like
definitely agree
anyone
with that.
else, any other friends, not any of our friends really. A handful might have a small business. I grew up in a home of small businesses. So did you.
Yeah.
My parents were both had their own business. So not a lot of people get it.
Well,
And
it was nice too, because it was kind of like what Brent was saying at one point, where he was saying we're a room of competitors, but we're coming together as peers to have the same goal.
yeah.
So it's kind of like we can all talk. Like literally anyone in that room you could have walked up to and had shit in common with.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
I
I
mean, there
did.
was at some
I
point
did.
where I heard somebody talking about tackle twill and applique, and I was like, "Whoop, you do that? How do you do that?" So it was really nice to just be surrounded by people that do the same thing and have the same, the same drive as you too, right? So there's only so many people that go to these things that have the same drive and the same vision. You want to grow your company. You're not just coming there to, mingle or have drinks, whatever. Like you're there because you want to learn more. And
yeah, I think it's a lot of that.
It's a little both, though, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but then you're having drinks with people who are similarly minded.
Right.
Like if you're spending the money and making the trip, it's generally for similar reasons.
Right. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Well, the thing is, a lot of the people that go to these events are the people that are more motivated than the average print shop. You know what I mean? Like there's a reason why. I mean, obviously he caps at a certain point for the room, but you would think that if everyone in this industry was that motivated, it would have sold out in an instant. But it's just more like people that want to grow their business that show up. So everyone there is eager to talk and chat and find out as much as they can.
Yeah, right. It's like a concentrated audience.
Right, exactly.
And I think by growth, it's not just growing your business. I think it's growing as a person. Or by growing your business, it doesn't necessarily mean sales. It could just mean, like how efficient we are or something. And so conferences like that, especially conferences like that, because it's not like like ISS at Long Beach, but conferences like what we went to, has a lot of opportunity for that, especially outside of the speakers. Like Dylan said, we all four of us had dinner together and JoJo. And then when we were having dinner at their restaurant, well, there was
a bunch of other people came up to us.
Nick Wood. And so, I don't know. Like it feels good. For sure to be around, like you said.
How many times too were we just like walking down an alley, like a random alley, and we ran into people we knew? Like when we ran into
Amy. Were you in? I was not in any alleys.
I was wondering why I didn't see you that second day, Dylan.
Yeah, I was in all the dark alleys in Chicago. Yeah, but the best part is we found a lot of friends in those dark alleys, so I was not alone. But it was funny. It was like the first day we got together, we hang out with a bunch of friends, we did whatever. The first day of the event, we did the event, did dinner, everything by that. But then we partied a little too hard Friday night. And then by Saturday night, me and Andy were both looking at each other and like, I don't think I've stopped talking in 3 days. Like,
yeah.
I made a mistake of too many shots, and I actually contemplated driving
I missed that
home.
Party. What the hell? When did that happen?
Definitely did not do that.
Dang.
That was not something we did.
No, I was actually pretty good. I never woke up with a hangover. I was good.
It was funny. I don't know if Andy gonna want me to tell this story or not, but
perfect. Green light.
He was at the bar with people, and I was like just off from the bar, and I remember someone said to me, "Hey, do you want to drink?" And I'm like, "Nope, I'm not drinking tonight. I'm just hanging out. Like I don't normally drink." Whatever. And then I got that peer pressure from a couple of friends. They're like, "Oh, just have one. And I was like, I will literally have one. Like, if you're going to get me one, I will have one.
I only had one when we went to dinner.
And then I remember after that one, I kept looking over at Andy, and he had like stacks of like 6 at a time. And he was like,
damn,
here's one. And then it got wild after that.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah. So I did the classic leave your credit card at the bar. And I went back there. I don't know what time it was. It was really fucking late though. And I walked back there, and they were closed. They were cleaning up. I'm like, oh yeah. I knocked on the door. They let me in. I was like, I think I left my card here. And so I was looking around. This one guy was really nice. He was trying to help me find it. And then the girl, the bartender was there, and she goes, oh, and I think that like your friends signed, for it, and they took the card with them. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well,
what did he look like?
Well, I get back, and John texts me in the morning, and he's like, hey, have your credit card. I meant to send this text last night. I'm like, but the
best part is that he signed $1,000 tip.
I was going to say, he's like, we wrote in a tip for you and everything. I'm like, okay, cool. And I went to look at online banking to see like what damage has been done. And I didn't show, like wasn't pending or anything.
Do you know now though?
I do know now.
Is it cringeworthy?
No, it's not bad. It's like 400.
I thought you were going to say that he paid for it.
Yeah, I thought so too.
That's only in the South. That's some shit we do down here.
It is.
Yeah. Well,
Andy did do that a couple times that weekend. Though.
So in college, I had and after college, like when I was clearly responsible, I had like a same tape to the back of the back of my credit card that was like, if I leave my card, tip yourself 30% and call this number.
That's smart.
Yeah.
So you did it enough that you had to like fucking tape something to the back of your card.
Not with that tone of voice. I didn't. I'm just polite, just in case.
We're girls. It
just
happens.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. Makes sense.
At least it wasn't somebody else buying us drinks. You never know what's going to be in there. I'd rather buy my own, thanks.
Which makes sense because Andy was buying me all the drinks.
Oh,
So that's probably why I was so out of it by the end of the night.
yeah.
He's trying to take advantage of me.
Yeah. And then somebody took some pictures and they posted them. In fact, I got a bunch of those texts.
I have so many of them.
Yeah.
I feel like I saw one for like a hot second on Instagram, and then
You got taken down.
Campus Steve.
Oh, yeah.
It was a good time. It was fun. It was
More
a good night.
importantly, we learned a lot.
You know what was funny about that night too? And I remember, I don't know if you remember this, Andy, because I think you were in La La Land at that point, but we switched bars and we went to this other place and I was behind you guys. I wasn't quite there. And I'm not normally like a bar person or a club person. Like I don't normally go. So I don't know how it works exactly. But anyway, I get there and there's a line, like, you know, the line like in every club or whatever, and you have to wait in line to get through. And I'm like, there's no fucking way these guys went through this whole line already. Like here I am at the end of the line, sitting there like an asshole by myself. And then Steven calls me. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean? What am I doing? I'm in line. And then he comes and gets me, goes up to the guy at the front of the line. He's like, he's with me. And then Steven pulls me in. And it was like the biggest baller move. And then Steven's like, oh, you waited in line. I was like, what do you mean? Like, it's just fucking supposed to walk up in front of all these people and be like, see you, and then go in?
Well, that's what you do in your town, right?
My town doesn't.
What do we do in
have
our
that.
town?
Like McDonald's.
We literally walk up, we're like, hey guys. And they're like, oh, come on, girls.
Well,
Yeah, but you're
it's your
girls.
town.
We make all their merch.
No, all the boys. Yeah, we do.
Okay, listen.
You have a
my
big
other
fucking
favorite part of Print
grizzly man.
Hustlers was that I haven't been in the industry super long. So everyone that I like know is Instagram or no, it's just Instagram. So it's nice to like meet people in person,
Yeah.
especially all the girls. We got to meet Amy.
Yeah.
And Allison.
Thread Babe.
We call it Thread Babe. When I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, it's totally Thread Babe.
No, oh, and look. So this was that same night.
With Allison.
Yeah. So cute.
Freaking love her. She's the best.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we just got to meet a bunch of people that, like the Gorilla Joe guys, we didn't, like I'd only talked to them on Instagram before.
I had never talked to any of them. She does all that stuff. Oh no.
Uh-oh. Party
Somebody's
starting.
serenading us. I'm sorry. Can you hear it, Dad?
We can hear it. Where are they?
Hold this. Let me see. I don't know. It could be a car.
Fort Pierce, there's no. Oh, take on. Listen, we're
It's
literally, yeah, the car drove away. Look, like literally outside
Yeah,
is right there.
This is our garage.
That's where the railroad train is. Her Jeep is there.
that
My
sweet
Jeep is
Jeep.
home.
She's my old girl.
We both
Her
have,
name is Evelyn.
both have old girls.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
George.
it's that time. Are you ready?
What's that?
Tell us your story and how you got started.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
One at a time, real quick.
Well, so we
Not
both
at the
came
same
from a
time?
corporate background. I came from building materials, interestingly enough, man industry to man industry, I guess, right? So I had kind of worked my way up the ladder there and realized I didn't want to work for the CEO anymore. He was pretty demeaning. The last time I spoke with him, I was 7 months pregnant, and he asked me several times in our conversation about work-life balance. And I was like, oh, that's interesting that you're asking me that. So a year later, I left and decided I was going to buy a business. I didn't want to work for somebody. I wanted to be back home. And one day, we happened to know the owner of Varsity Sports Shop originally. The business is 50 years next year, which is pretty awesome.
Dang.
72. I know. Awesome, right? It is the oldest sports shop on the East Coast. And we walked in the door, and it was like my brother's, one of his best friends. And I had my little 1-year-old daughter with me in the stroller, walked in the front door downtown because he had just moved it here from what kind of turned into the ghetto in town. And I walked out the door, got in the car with my husband and said, I'm going to buy that place. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I want to buy that place. And he was like, well, you should then. And I was like, oh, I don't know. So I probably 3 weeks later, I'm having dreams about owning this place. Like, oh, I can make it into this. I mean, at the time we only heat pressed. We had like one single head embroidery machine. We had a fairly old engraver.
So you had this stuff. You had this stuff before you bought this place.
No, I worked for building materials. Yeah, it was.
Okay, so you had nothing to do with printing at all.
Nothing to do with printing at all. I came from building materials.
Right.
When you said you were going to buy this place, was it for sale?
It was, yeah. So when I walked in there, he was like, oh yeah, I'm going to sell this place to these guys from Atlanta that make bats. And I was like, okay. I'm like, Varsity Sports Shop. You can't sell that place to somebody from out of state. Like, that's just ridiculous. It just doesn't make sense. It's a hometown staple.
His daddy started it.
Yeah. I mean, like every Letterman jacket was from this place. Like every cleat back in the day was from this place. I mean, it was a staple of Fort Pierce. And I couldn't think about it being owned by somebody not from here, you know?
So when you said that you wanted to buy this place, did you have like money aside where you were like, I can dive into this? Or you were
That's a good question, Dylan, because I am kind of in a pickle now. I bought this place with my 401k. Dilly, it's a dill pickle. I like it, yeah.
Nice.
So I did the ROBS. Do you guys know what that is? So you can take your 401k and you can roll it into a C Corp, and then the C Corp can purchase all the stock of a company. And you have no tax liability or really anything. You can.
So you had a 401k. You had a 401k built up from the last job.
From the last job, yep.
Right. Okay.
Instead of cashing out and paying taxes on it, you can roll it into buying a company, and you can defer that tax payment, you're saying.
Exactly. Right.
Okay.
So now I'm trying to figure my way out of that. It's tricky. Anyway.
What does that entail though? Is that something where you just like have a buyout or you can pay monthly on to get rid of, or?
So I have to buy it back for myself. So I have to go and
like inception, business inception.
I pay $100 or $150 a month to this company to maintain my ERISA standards, to make sure that I don't default for, government usage of those funds. And then annually they fill out this form. It's a form 5500. And then until I can afford to either sell it or buy it back from myself, it is going to be $150 a month. So
seems like I would just fucking pay the $150 a month for life at that point.
Right. Well, I mean, so that's what happened, right? Like then you start building the business and now I've put so much into it. I bought it for X and now it's worth, so much more than that.
X plus.
Yeah.
Y.
So when I bought it, it was just the owner and like one part-time person. And now we have a group of 9 of us. I was 10. No, I guess we can count 10 because we have a graphic source person. Yeah.
And it's all ladies.
It is all ladies.
All ladies.
Yeah. The last guy just left last Friday.
And he was only here for a handful of months.
He was.
He was great, but he's 19. So his
Mm-hmm.
name's Owen, and he was fantastic, but he wants to live in a bus. So
He does,
we
and
can't
travel
help
the
him with
world.
that.
Now, you're thinking of, you pull into this place and you went there and you found out it was for sale and you're like, I think I'm going to dive into a print shop. Why?
Why not?
I don't
Same
know.
reason we were
It's-
like, we can't get out of Chicago today. Want to drive to Cleveland?
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
but
that's just how they roll.
to cash in your 401k and be like, hey, I'm going to buy this business.
Number one, I wanted to be local, and it was
Downtown.
such a local business. It was already in the heart of downtown. I grew up, our town is very small. And I used to spend a lot of time downtown, but they also were involved in Little League, and
So
we
you
had
knew
sponsors.
it was a staple enough of the town that you knew enough
yeah.
about it
Oh,
that
yeah.
you kind of just wanted
I got my
For
varsity
sure.
jacket from there, and it used to be we were both born and raised here.
Yeah.
We went to the same schools from kindergarten to 12th grade. We're just a couple years apart. And they used to be closer to our school until Mr. Picano passed away. And then Junior moved it downtown, which is,
Yeah.
I think, a part of the appeal.
Right.
But it's a small town. And
How long from the time you walked out to the car and said, I think I'm going to buy that place, to the time you actually bought it? How long was that?
It was about 2 months. So after about 3 weeks, so it's interesting. I had worked my way up the corporate ladder so much. I had gone to several conferences. One of them was in California at Long Beach. It was the women's conference out there. And they gave us a bag. And the bag was in my closet, from my favorite boss, whatever.
Still there.
It is still there, actually.
I know.
And I got out of the shower that day. I walked through my closet and this bag talked to me and it said, "It's time." And that morning.
Were you super high at that point? Because the bag said, "It's time."
It's time.
It talked to her.
It did.
Okay.
It literally was like, okay, I get it. So
Okay.
I made the call that day.
Shout out to whoever made that bag.
Yeah.
Or someone
Made a
maybe someone
difference.
listening made that merch.
True that.
Like that.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't think about that.
I know.
Like a bright silver bag with like purple lettering on it. You couldn't miss
Obviously,
it.
it's a
Now, did you have to do some negotiations? Because you said there was already a buyer.
We are gonna have a train. Hold up.
You know what that's like?
Dylan knows this life. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's probably the same
Shakes
train,
our whole
just
building.
on its way to
Probably
Maine.
is.
Yeah. You might be going south.
Oh, he's going north.
It'll be here about midnight.
When it's so loud, Zoom cuts
Yeah.
it out. Yeah.
Now is a good break for you to have some cheese curls.
True. Oh, they were so good. They're not your typical cheese curl. They have spice. They got a little spice.
A little spicy
Hey,
cheese
while we're
curl.
in it, I need to look what Ricky does.
You got to look real close at that.
Oh, it says Varsity merch on it.
Rick did.
That's awesome.
She did try to make varsity into the shirt con, but it did not look good.
Are you guys back?
Yeah, we're back. Now we can hear you again.
Okay. All right.
Excellent.
I don't remember where we left off.
I don't either. Buying the company.
Okay. So yeah, you decided this was a staple of the town. You wanted to buy the company. How did you get it out from the guys who wanted it that were the bat company?
Oh, you asked if I was negotiating.
Yes.
I did negotiate, but not so much the price. It wasn't too expensive. I knew that there was a value there that I could build into it. And also the building came with first right of refusal. So I ended up being able to buy the building because of all that, whatever. So it was worth it for me to take it for what he was asking, I guess.
Now, what is included in that? Did you just buy the business or did you buy the building?
I did not buy the building. Initially. I own it now, and we own this building that we're in too. But it came with a single head embroidery machine, an engraver, a heat press, vinyl. God, that we still have GX24. It's freaking old as balls, but whatever. And I don't know the name.
And the part-time lady.
And one part-time embroidery
It came
lady
with
that
a
I
human?
fired. Yes.
Came with what?
But I fired like 2 years later. A year later?
Yeah.
I don't know. She still comes and does
No.
stuff for us at night.
No screen printing though, like not a manual press. No.
Not even. Nope.
He
So
outsourced,
a
right?
couple of years, he outsourced. And a couple years later, I was like, well, I'm going to need to screen print because here we were freaking cutting vinyl for Little League. We had like 500 uniforms, literally vinyl on every uniform. I thought I was going to die. My mother-in-law took some home. My employee at the time took some home. We all were weeding on our countertops at home to try to get their uniforms done in time. Because, you figure there's like 15 kids per team. Like, at that time, it was crazy. So we did that for about a year or two. And then I was like, I feel like the lady that did do the outsourcing for screen printing, like our communication wasn't good. Whatever I'd send her, she was like, I can't use this. I'm like, God, well, I think I could use it. So I bought a Printa 770. Do you guys know what that is?
I don't.
It's like an all-in-one manual.
Hold on. I just want to appreciate this moment that the two people who know everything about every
That
product,
you guys got the ghettoist screen printer thing that we didn't have no
Totally.
idea about. Yeah, that's
It
stumped
was
us.
all-in-one. It had a dryer in the center.
The all-in-one already.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
the
the
problem.
all-in-one is like you bought that in the back of Kmart, I feel like.
we did have
It was a
Kmart at the
trade
time.
with like a sub of
Like,
ours.
traded a airboat for it.
No, I think that I might have given him like, I don't know. And I got a press with it too. I got like a Hottronics press and that screen printer.
Now, the question that we always have to ask people when they get into screen printing is, how did you learn how to screen print then?
It's a good question. I taught myself.
But did you teach
Actually,
yourself
my husband
with
thought
the
that he
internet?
knew a lot of crap.
Yeah.
No, I tried to learn from Derek. He was terrible. The first time I ever coded a screen was with a freaking, this is going to be ridiculous. I feel like I shouldn't even say it.
No, you should say it because there's some people doing it.
A soup
now.
spoon? You know, those like really large.
Ladle?
I didn't know that you needed a scoop coder.
Like a ladle.
Yeah.
How?
Not a ladle,
How do
but
you
like
code a screen with a ladle?
A spoon.
It wasn't a ladle. It was the flatter kind, you know? He was like, yeah, you go like this. And I was like, nah, I feel like there's something different. So then I watched Cat Spit. And I
So it
like,
was
oh, I
Cat
gotta get
Spit.
one of
That's
those
what I was
things.
looking for. Was who was your original mentor?
That was the guy then. I mean, and then I had to teach myself how to use Photoshop and Illustrator and all that stuff. I mean, I'm pretty much self-taught.
That's awesome.
Well, it's awesome. And it's also not awesome because then when you talk to somebody that is
Just awesome.
very educated about it.
No. Nope. Awesome. Just leave it at that. Because that's what most printers do is they just learn the shit that they learn. And even now, like me and Andy have both been doing it for long enough. We do things differently because we taught ourselves, and we think that that's the best way to do things in our shop is because we learned it that way. And that's how 99% of the other print shops are. Like, you should be proud of the fact that you had the drive to do what you did in general to get to where you are now.
But she's also super humble. So even if it was something she did in the beginning and taught herself, honestly, if something like a smarter, more efficient way comes along, it's not like she's like, nope, this is what I did. This is how I do it. Like she's.
Yeah. Well, that's what I did in corporate America too. Like everything that we learned, I like threw the books out. Our company was ran, do you guys know what Sarbanes-Oxley is? So all these really large companies, after, I can't even remember what this is like so many years ago now, whatever.
It's not that long ago. She's very young.
Yeah, very young and beautiful. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I didn't say that. I mean, yeah.
That's right. So after the corporate side of things, like people were stealing, right? Back in the 90s, they stole a lot of money from their employees and all of their benefits and everything. And the government implemented a rule that you had to have all these guidelines. And my job was to basically take those guidelines and bend them because you wrote your own. So I would rewrite rules, procedures, whatever, to make sure that we were still
SOPs.
secure. Yeah.
SOPs all day.
Oh, yeah. I haven't written a single procedure while I've been here, just so you know.
Well, that's something that I kind of wanted to talk about because I can't remember what day it was now. It was Friday. I had a long marketing meeting with my staff about just a bunch of stuff. Like, one of the things that I took from Print Hustlers, which we were already thinking and talking about, was that I need to say no to a lot more shit. Even though we already said no to a good amount of stuff.
Yeah.
We were just like, we need to say no to a lot more stuff.
Yeah.
And then in that conversation also was the initial start of us starting our SOPs. So, which is funny to me because both of you have that education background, and I feel like that would be your first thing. Like that would be something that you guys would already have been dove into, is procedures for like every step of the shop. So you don't do that, or you're working on that?
So it's really funny that you say that. So when you buy a business, I don't know if you know, but it's really hard to run it by yourself and a part-time person and learn every facet, because the guy that I had bought it from, we pretty much shook hands that day in August, and he was supposed to stay on for a month. And he was like, oh, I'm not going to be there today. I'm going to do this. And so I had to teach myself how to use a laser engraver, how to use the vinyl machine, how to use the embroidery machine, which was the last thing I actually learned, because it was the one that was the most daunting task, I feel like.
Embroidery?
Yeah. Now I freaking love embroidery, but
I'll take
back
embroidery
then.
over engraving.
Yeah, well, it's easy. Engraving is easy. Wait till you just push that button.
I love how you guys bicker with yourselves during this.
So
we're just on one screen instead of like you and Andy, like bickering. Bickering's not the right word. It's discussion.
it is discussion.
Okay.
So as you come into something like this, yes, I know it has been an issue and I have said it several times. I actually have tried to task a few people with writing procedures and we have a couple. Jen did a pretty good job. She wrote a couple procedures, but then the one that I really wanted to push into that role, she wasn't working out.
It's not me.
No.
I think that there's been some things that have happened that have inhibited.
Mm-hmm.
So we've kind of been in survival mode for the past, since I started. I started January of 2019.
Yep.
So let's hear your background until how you got involved.
Okay. So I taught.
Move the microphone closer.
I was a teacher.
Not that close.
I was a teacher. I taught in the public school system here. I taught kindergarten, was my last grade. I wanted to be a better teacher, so I started my master's. I wanted to go into coaching other teachers. So that's what my master focused on. And then I had a baby and I thought I wanted to stay home with her. Didn't. But I did that for a while. Once I decided I wanted to go back to work, a curriculum company recruited me to work in sales enablement, which is fancy corporate lingo for sales-driven internal training. So we were responsible for the development and design of presentations as well as the delivery of them.
So presentations that teachers could use?
Close. No. The sales team. It's like we enabled the sales team to be successful because curriculum is a sketchy facet. There's a lot of curriculum companies and school districts don't want to spend jack. So like we got to be on our A game.
So you're saying that you made the curriculum, you made
the trainings.
Training
made
for the salespeople that sell to schools.
Yep. We were responsible for a lot. One thing we were responsible for is training the salespeople and then like on the curriculum as well as what they had to present. So we would build both collateral pieces as well as the services, because that's one reason why I really wanted to do it is the teachers were kind of screwed when Common Core rolled out because the trainers sucked at it. So I wanted to do better for the trainers.
Okay. So how did you get from that to this?
Well, turns out that I hate corporate world. It's not a good fit for me. And they pay me a lot of money, which is where I learned the money's not money. Money,
you, I feel like.
Oh, 1,000%. I worked from home here.
6 figures. I mean, it was like then we did this and we have to work our way up to that again.
Well, that's kind of like, it's funny because there's things like here, or any print shop, like the employees are like, oh, well, so-and-so is paying this much. And it's like, so-and-so is paying this much. It's like, yeah, they pay so high because you don't want to fucking work there. Like the only thing that's keeping you there is the fact that the money is
literally, it kept me there for probably 6 months. And in the middle of that 6 months, I had a kid.
Yeah.
Probably like addiction. Like 8 months.
They feed you enough money so that you buy these things.
Yeah.
And then you get to a place where you have to make a certain amount of money or you can't afford to be where you want to be. So it was you kind of get in this, I don't know, stuck in this hole.
So how did she lure you in is my question.
I didn't.
She was a very good dancer.
I mean,
she was good moves. She was like, I need some help bookkeeping.
And you can have a free office.
You can have a free office.
Another business.
And I had a business idea that I was trying to pursue until an attorney told me later that it was a terrible idea. But, because Target could copy it in a second, a patent attorney. But she was like, oh, help me with some bookkeeping. And I was like, you're going to pay me to learn about business bookkeeping for my own business? Okay, I'm down. So I'm
you decided to leave corporate, or you had already left?
I had already left.
Okay. So you were just kind of floating around.
Yeah, literally, floating around downtown.
And then she scooped you up and said, hey, come do accounting for me.
Yeah, we had been friends for a couple years at that point. Our kids are in school together. They're a couple years apart.
Even that close of friends.
No, not at all.
Outskirts, right?
Yeah.
So it's
I mean, I thought we were better friends than she did, I guess.
Then she was invited into my group of
Circle,
friends.
inner
And then I was
circle.
like, who's this Christina girl that I have to know? Fine. I know her. Here she is.
Okay.
I know.
So long story short,
Long story long. Long story long.
it worked out.
It worked out. So long story long, she asked me to bookkeep. And then Cinco de Mayo 2019 was her daughter's birthday.
Yep. She turned 7. And my
So
husband
happened.
got a TBI.
Traumatic brain injury.
Yep. Riding a hoverboard, wear your freaking helmets. I don't care
Oh
what
my
they
God.
say.
So
My
what did
husband
he-
is
what
like
did he
really
do?
good on his feet. And he was riding the hoverboard down A1A on like very flat sidewalk. And it kicked him out and he smacked his head on the concrete and went to the ER and was out for 10 days
In a coma.
in a coma.
Had to have a
Wow.
craniectomy.
Yeah. They literally took part of his skull off. They
Froze
had
it.
to let his whole brain swell, all this stuff. I had to go through so many signatures of he might die today. Are you okay with that? Oh my God. Yeah.
So I was only working like kind of part-time at the time. I loved it, but I was only really part-time doing bookkeeping stuff. And everyone at the business was kind of like, and no one was really stepping up. And I was like, fine. I have like a really protective layer when it comes to friends, like, extremely loyal and protective. So I was like, I'm going to run this ship. So I just tried to do basically like a junior version of everything that she did like 4 years before. Like taught myself all of the things as much as I could, not engraving. No, thank you. But I mean, it will have to
You
be
learned
learned.
embroidery only recently too, but well, maybe a little.
Well, I had to learn it with at least, I mean, not like solo, but I had to learn
Yeah.
it at least problem solving.
Yeah.
And I had to like figure out everything to the best of my abilities.
So then
So-
after that
She
point,
could
you
be
left the accounting part and became more of like a jack of all.
Funny you should say that. No,
She's
I
a
still try to
terrible
do that.
frickin'
I'm
bookkeeper.
awful.
Oh my God, terrible.
Absolutely awful. Just the dead worst.
Terrible.
Awful, terrible. But that's good to know about myself.
Yeah, it is. I'm glad to know it.
I
about
know
you,
how it
too, and I
works.
won't ever put you in that position.
Perfect. You know, like when dads do laundry and they put like a red sock in with the whites, so they don't ever have to do laundry again.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
It is.
Good job. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It worked.
I know.
So 2 things. One, how's your husband now? Is he-
Thankfully, pretty freaking awesome. He has just a big scar on his head that he says is a shark bite. And he has still the same personality and sense of humor, which is pretty amazing. The doctor
Does he like randomly speak in another language?
he already spoke Spanish and he still remembers it. So he's good. I mean,
Good.
we're so lucky. He's literally like a walking miracle.
Times 2. That's
Yeah.
the second time that he survived some shit he shouldn't have.
Oh yeah. He fell off a cliff once, whatever. Broke his ankle.
He
There's a
doesn't have
guy-
great balance by the sounds of it.
there's a guy. So on,
I sent it to her yesterday.
Yeah, it's out of Chicago. Yeah.
I know exactly what you're going to say. I was like, look, TBI. We always try to donate to like any TBI stuff. I thought you were going to talk about the graphic designer. Sorry to jump ahead. I was just like,
no, what was that? What's that
there's
story?
a graphic designer from Chicago. What's his name? That
And he
anytime there's like a TBI, I'm like, look, we donate all the time. We don't spend any money on marketing. We use all of any marketing money
Yeah, we
towards donate or like to local things or anything. Like we're very sensitive.
That's a
to
good-
TBIs.
That's a good. It's not really a shop hack, but
See,
Donation is literally the best way to.
it brings the right people in, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No. So my story was that on Wednesday, somebody came and to our front counter and said, "Are you hiring?" And we are, and which was great because earlier in the week, like on Monday, was just a pretty rough day here. And I talked with one of the production managers, and we were like, here's what we need. Like, we need somebody right here, but how do we find that person and all this stuff? And so serendipity came, and this person was applying at the front counter. I gave him a tour, and I showed him what we needed. And he was like, yeah, this sounds great. And I said, okay, cool. And I gave him an application. He fills it out. And then we meet up again, like 20 minutes later. And I look at it, and he doesn't have any information on like high school and stuff. And so I said, or work experience or anything like that. And he said, hey, here's the thing. I was hit by a car a year ago and I had a brain injury and I don't remember anything before that happened. And so I don't remember. He goes, I went to high school, but I don't remember right now. I can't remember the name of it. But he goes, that doesn't impair anything. Like I'm good to go. Like I can work here and do whatever you need. And so,
that's such a cop out.
I said, yeah, like he's just making it up, but he
just had like shitty jobs and quit everywhere. And now he's just like, yeah, I got hit by a car.
Only thing is he had scars, to show. And he said, so I said, okay, cool. Come back tomorrow, 8:00. And that was
the Joker. That's the Joker. How did I get these scars? And he makes up a different story every time.
Dylan, don't curse this because he worked out really well on Thursday.
Knowing you, something horribly is going to go wrong.
No, it's really, really good.
Typically, they either have like short-term or long-term memory loss, right? So thankfully, mine didn't have anything. And when he woke up, he actually remembered me, which thank God.
Very unforgettable, though.
I am a little unforgettable. Whatever.
I feel like if I was him, I would have definitely played a joke. I would have like pretended I didn't know who you were for like a couple.
Well, he was so doped out. I'm talking like he was maxed out on fentanyl, and there were like 3 crazy drugs that he was maxed out on.
He definitely would have if he was in the right.
Oh yeah, he definitely would have. But then so when he woke up, he was up for 4 days straight. Oh my God, I thought I was gonna die. Ugh. I had to have his friend come.
We had like 3 3 difficult things at the shop during that time. And I like forbid everyone here. I'm like, do not call her. I will figure it out. Not.
I would literally walk in the door and I'd be like, okay, I have to do payroll. Don't talk to me. Okay, I got to go by. Or like I'd be at the literally sitting next to him at the hospital just to keep my brain off of what's going on with him, like prepping artwork and popping in and printing films and like just to make sure that I could keep it was some kind of normalcy.
Difficult to balance like how to be supportive and make sure that you could be there for him while also trying to help. Like I knew it was a lot of hours of like him laying there.
Yeah.
So how could I help distract your brain?
At the time you were running the press, or you had a press, you had the press behind you, the Diamondback, or you had a different press?
I did not. We just bought this actually a year and a half ago. Best thing I ever did in my life. Yeah. We bought it literally on March 17th. I do everything on holidays. I don't know why. It's either on a birthday or a holiday, whatever, but
someone in the industry,
every building I bought, everything I closed on.
What to do during this time? Don't buy equipment. Don't buy property. Like all stuff. We're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
We have a press.
So
I was like, it's fine. We have a huge order from the sheriff's department.
So where did that press come from?
It came
directly from heaven.
It came from our big blue friends.
Microphone. I feel like we're on like a show.
I do too. It came from our buddies at Raider. And the funny story about this press specifically was that Christina's friend on the west coast of Florida that lives in Tampa.
What's up, Brian?
Yeah. Whoop, whoop. He actually had he knew that we were looking for something, but I've never actually met him yet. So he messaged Christina and he was like, hey, this press just popped up. Your girl may want this. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. And it's in freaking Tampa. Are you kidding me? It's ours. Like there's a reason why it's in Tampa. It was the only one that would fit in this space, right? We only have so much space. Yeah. It's really not humongous. Yeah. So
you're saying, the press spoke to you also.
Yeah. It found us. So here's the deal.
We're witches.
We are witches. We do say that a lot. So I immediately called the guy and I guess Raider had already contacted the guy that was selling it and it was already spoken for in Michigan. I was like, you're telling me you're going to take this same press that I want and you're going to ship it from Tampa and instead of Fort Pierce that we're 3 hours away and you're going to put it on a truck and ship it to Michigan? Like that doesn't even make sense. I feel like you can find something closer for them.
Sorry to whoever we took the press from.
No, it was fine. They actually, at the last minute, found a better press for him that was closer or something.
Oh, wait, we had a manual in here first.
We did. We did have a manual in here, yeah.
Right behind you.
Yeah, you don't want to see it. It's not the right color.
But there was a manual forever.
Yeah.
And then changed.
Well, we had the printer. Then we moved to this thing.
Printer, look it up.
Tell us how your production or how your shop changed by going from manual to auto.
So when I had the printer, it was in my garage and I bought this. Well, I started with a flash. Yes, it was in my garage at my house. And I was like, well, I'm going to do this myself because what better way to learn something than doing it yourself? So in the evenings and on the weekends, whenever I could, I would be home trying to learn how to screen print. And so I was flashing everything because I didn't know I needed a dryer. And I talked to another guy in town that also screen prints, gave me the best advice of my life. And he was like, you're either in or you're out. And I was like, oh, really? That's how that goes? I was like, he's like, yeah, you don't want to make us have a bad name. And I was like, okay. So I had one large customer that we did some tri-blend hoodies on and it washed out because I hadn't cured it long enough. And so I was like, okay, well, now I'm looking for a dryer. So I found this humongous workhorse, literally took up my entire freaking garage. What was it? 14 feet long. Yeah. Holy shit. It was freaking huge. So here I am manually printing. He gave me an upgraded printer instead of the printer. So I had that thing sitting in the corner forever. And we were printing with this hot ass freaking dryer, which is why I like to put my drinks in the dryer. Sorry, Andy, this shit is so cool now. I have a Fusion. So we
about the cool one.
And it's so nice and cool. Oh, it doesn't, yeah. So went from that. I moved it downtown into the back. If you guys saw when you visit, you'll see how small our little stock room is in the back. I had our manual press and the dryer shoved in this little corner because we were getting, as you grow, like I don't want to be I had my assistant manager at the time going to my house and printing in my garage. I'm like, I need you on site. Like we need a part-time person or something. I can't have you not here. And so I had moved it downtown, put all of the electric in, blah, blah, blah. I figured out that we were already growing out of that space. So our downtown is very small and old. All the our building, the original building is 1926. And I was like, well, let's look for some rental space. So we looked around and I found some rental space that was pretty reasonable. The guy that owned the building, thankfully, his wife was actually my preschool teacher, which this is how small the town is because they would never have sold it. They only wanted to rent the space. And I worked on him for a month and a half and I was like, how about you just sell it to me? And I'll let you hold the note and I'll freaking pay you some ridiculous amount of interest on it. How about 7%? And don't even worry about it. One day I'll, finance it or whatever. And he was like, oh, well, let me talk to her. Came back and he was like, yeah, it's fine. You can buy it from us.
That's kind of what happened to me.
I love that. Right. But now we have 3 spaces, which one day we're soon going to have to take over all 3. But right now, Varsity is printing for free over here. So
So you're saying you have you said you have 3 spaces, a couple of them you're leasing to other people?
Mm-hmm.
On the shop. So on the print side, we've got 2 renters. And then above the shop, we have an Airbnb that helps pay for the shop.
Yeah. So the shop pays mortgage and that's rent basically. And then we have an Airbnb upstairs, which is extra income for me and my husband. And then we call spot B where the screen printer is here. And there in this space here, there are 3 different rentals. So there's us, there's a dog groomer out front, and then there is a clay collaborative,
which is a bunch of older ladies who just they're all retired and they don't want to be home with their retired husband. So they collectively rent a space to do clay and to be with their husbands all day.
Yep.
Sounds legit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legit.
So you're saying that getting the auto took away a lot of that worrying and bullshit of having the manual in your garage.
Oh my gosh.
Does anyone not say that?
We had a humongous order, like I said, for the sheriff's department, which we had printed the year before, but it was only a 3-color. It was I don't know, almost 1,000 shirts we did manually. And I know. And then this year it was 1,000 shirts, but they wanted full color. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't, we got to find something. I can't do this to her anymore. So we were lucky enough to fall into the Diamondback.
It's
I
awesome.
love M&R.
We do.
We got to visit them.
Yeah. We did. And the guys from Raider, like all the M&R people that they're amazing.
We visited them too in the spring.
Oh yeah, we did.
Mm-hmm.
Sean, like from Orlando, he took us around just so we could kind of learn to like dark rooms. I mean, unless you don't know what you don't know, right? So until you see it. And I was like, oh, this is what a dark room is actually supposed to look like. Oh my gosh. I have, again, so much to learn. So we've got some growing still to do. And, but I feel like it's organic. We don't push the growing. I don't like to advertise for too much. And
then she knows the right time.
I mean,
And then I
that's,
thought,
Look at this.
I think that's forever, like, so we're going through growing pains right now. We have growing to do, so it's like an ongoing thing.
So
so
it's like the third week, I feel like I've heard you say growing pains. Would you like to care?
He's
have-
saying
Would you care to elaborate?
He's saying groin pains, not growing pains.
growing pains.
Wait, what are you saying? You're saying growing?
He has groin pains.
Yeah, that's what we've been saying. What are you saying?
Yeah.
Growing or groin?
He just needs to stretch better, I think.
I did a lot of that today. Yeah, we
It's a
went.
St. Louis thing.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Do you want to tell us about your growing pains, Andy?
Yeah, there's a lot. That's a different episode.
Dang, I feel like we could learn from it though. Come on.
You want to know about my groin or growing?
Growing.
Growing.
Oh, yeah.
Your growing pains.
Growing? Do you know?
You could have a growing groin pain. Okay, your growing pain.
High level, dude. You've said growing pains like 3 weeks in a row. So now,
Yeah, I mean, it's because it's in my face every time I'm here. It's what's going on.
like to talk about it.
Yeah.
If
I
you
think
share, I'll share.
Ooh. Send to receive.
Yeah, actually, both Billy and I are going through the same thing or similar
hear it.
things. For us, we have, I think it's, we had stuff figured out for the most part about our flow. And then we grew in volume slightly, and that stuff didn't work anymore. It doesn't work anymore. And so, and we know that, and we're like, okay, well, here's what we need to do. We kind of almost know some of the stuff we need to do, yet we just can't possibly do it. It's like, and this was illustrated perfectly on Monday, that day that I came back, and it was overwhelming. Like, for the first time in a long time, I actually got sick to my stomach. That's how, and it wasn't because things were going wrong as much as it was just too much, too many people, needed stuff from me, and so, and I mean, I went from one thing to the other, nonstop, pedal to the metal, just trying to get through my morning. And by lunch, it was just a lot. And so I sat down and we started talking, and with somebody, and I'm like, look, okay, so here's what we're going to do. Like, here's the plan. This is what I'm trying to work on right now. And we're just going to chip away at this. And this is the first thing we're going to do. And we started to do that. And like literally 5 minutes in, somebody comes up to us and says, hey, so-and-so had to go home, and we need to shift gears, and we need to work on whatever they were going to work on. And so, and we both looked at each other and said, isn't this like perfect? Because this is exactly what's been happening, is that we know we have to work on these things. In fact, we even know what we have to work, how to work on them, but we can never work on them because it's just too busy. And so it gets pushed off to, tomorrow or next week or next month. And so it never gets fixed. And what happens is that that's not good for morale. That's not good for it frustrates not just me, but everybody that's here. And it's because they're going through it and they understand it. And they're like, well, why doesn't this get fixed or that gets fixed? Why is this still happening? But I can't fix it, because we're stuck.
Yeah.
We're stuck. We're spinning our wheels, and it's, and so I always think, we'll fix it for sure in January when we slow down or something. But in January, when we slow down, I want to go to the desert. I want to take a break. So I'm supposed to go from busy as shit, and then we're going to slow down.
Vacation.
Yeah, that's what I want to do, is take a vacation. But instead, I'm going to go to working on stuff more. And I don't know if I want to do that. I want to figure it out now.
I think that's why we haven't done the SOPs though, because everything is
Changing all the
growing
time.
and changing. So
Whatever I had written when I first bought this place would not be at all the same thing that where we are right now.
and
So
the changes have been so dramatic. It's not like we got an extra flash. Like it went from manual to automatic. Like
Right.
it's like huge changes. And then we've had staff turnover, of course, and then COVID. So like, and we honestly, when COVID hit, we were like, oh, this is going to be great. We'll have some like downtime. And then instead we just pivoted and figured out some shit for the
How to make
embroidery
masks
machine. We
and-
figured out how to do 3 masks
So-
per head.
2 things to SOPs. One, we made our first one on a couple days ago, and that was because Mark Deal, shout out to Douthit. He was in town and he just stopped by and to say hi and to look at our wax machine. And we started going over maintenance, like something that needed some maintenance. And he was talking to Kyle and I. Go, so here's what you do. Here's where you grease it. You grease these 6 points, and he like pointed to them. And I'm like, we're never going to remember this, right? And so I said, hey, Kyle, do you have your phone? Kyle whips out his phone, hits record, video record. And I go, hey, show us one more time. And we went through the 6 points, right? Where we're supposed to grease it. And I'm like, done. We have a SOP.
I did this, yes. When we bought this thing, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Can you walk around again and just tell us where to put all that stuff again? Yep, picture.
But that's the thing though, and that's kind of the realization that I came to is the same thing Andy was saying. Like when you're busy, you think of things that you want to do and you write it down. And you're like, okay, I'll get to this later. But the problem is there's never a later. You're constantly just going through the day of the motions of like getting shit done, but you don't never have like, okay, I have 5 days to sit down and just get through this shit. Because it never happens. It's not
We
a
just
thing.
talked about the airplane. I told her, I'm like, the airplane's my favorite. I don't get Wi-Fi. I use like the 3 hours from Chicago to Florida where I just banged a bunch of stuff out and got it all done that I otherwise don't have, I guess, the time frame, the uninterrupted time.
Right.
I would love that. I remember, who was it? Chris, Bella Canvas guy says that I think he lives in Chicago and he flies to LA every Monday morning.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, well, man, that would suck.
Yeah.
But then I thought that would be great because you actually have 3 hours, 4 hours.
Uninterrupted, like 5
Undistracted.
hours to do it.
Yeah.
The trick is to not get the Wi-Fi though. Because if you get the Wi-Fi, then you either spend the whole time trying to get the Wi-Fi to work or you have access to everything that can distract you anyway.
Right.
So it's like I was prepared with all the things I wanted to get done. And then I just crushed them while I was up there.
Yeah. Well, the thing I was saying is like when I had that meeting on Friday with staff was kind of like, let's just do this. Like, it doesn't need to be like, I don't need you to sit down and go through every procedure that isn't, needed for your job. It's just like literally write shit down when you think of it. That's like, and it's going to be a open, like Google Doc that's constantly going to be evolved. So like the thing that I gave them, which they didn't really care or get, was I was like, all right, if we're going to do print white ink on black shirts, we're going to do this ink with a 60-90-60 or no, yeah, 60-90-60, and it's going to be a 15-degree angle, and it's going to be this speed and this pressure. That's our new standard for this is our white underbase. But then if in 6 months they come out with a new squeegee or a new ink that performs better,
Completely
that
different.
we tried out, we change that SOP for that area of, okay, now this is the new thing. Because the thing is we have printers that come in here that learn everything we know, and then they take that knowledge and they, by trial and error, grow and get better at certain things. But when they leave, that knowledge goes with them because we never wrote it down.
Yeah.
So I want to tell everyone here, like, hey, anytime you learn something that's better than what you were currently doing, that's the new standard. Like, that's the new norm. So then we end up with this print Bible at the end of like every position and everything in the shop has the best of the best knowledge written down, and it's constantly evolving. So it's not like you have to write something for a manual and then you're like, oh, I have an auto now. It's like you just are constantly growing it as you go. But you can do it little by little. Like tomorrow I could write something down and now I have SOPs. Like I have a start to something. Because I feel like you're never going to get that, like, okay, let's iron it all out right now. You're just going to have to evolve and grow.
Yeah, it's true. And if you don't take a little at a time, you'll never get anything done.
Right.
Like I feel like it's a huge task to think about a procedure manual because there's so many procedures to write, right? So I feel like once you find that, you're like, okay, well, this is what we're going to focus on right now. I find that you can actually get it attained, right? So it's like,
right. If you're doing like, okay, I have 2
the
minutes, let's write this down.
Right.
Right.
You guys remember when the bus didn't come to take us to the boat?
We booked
And-
it so fast.
We
I was
walked
sweating
so-
in the cold
I know.
air. Just
We were walking, and I was walking with Marcotte for a bit.
Hot.
Yeah. Is that what you call it? Is that what it is?
He calls him Matt Cott.
Well, we were walking and I started talking about like sort of the same stuff. And he says, have you thought about putting a QR code at every station and you just hold your phone up to it and boom, it takes you to a video of whatever that is. So like we could have that QR code by our wax machine and just hold your phone up to it and takes you to the video of whatever we just made, just simple video. It doesn't have to be.
Or at least that Google Doc.
Yeah.
Right.
Or there you go. Like that Google. I think it's harder to write about the steps than it would be just to shoot a video.
If you're not trained to do it, then
Just
it will
happened
be
to your
harder.
guys' video.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just got a close up.
You guys just zoomed
How did
in
they just
hard.
zoom in on it? Zoom in.
It just did it on its own.
No,
all of
it's
a sudden.
weird. Don't look at our pores. What the heck?
I can see all
I
of
like
your
to stay
pores.
far away for a reason.
You don't have to zip it.
Man, I could really go for some cheese curls right about now.
Well, I think yours are
cheesy
probably
pits?
on the way. Oh, did I show you the actual?
Is that farther right now?
Is that better?
That's better,
I missed
yeah.
the
Back to
best
normal?
part.
What's this say? Show munchies.
Nice.
Yeah, that's from Miles.
So what cheesy poofs do you guys prefer, white or yellow? I
Well,
think
we got
those are
sent.
likes.
We got sent some, and Andy was trying them before you guys got on.
Sponsored?
They're dots.
Oh,
we have
yes.
those pretzels.
Yeah, we have their pretzels.
Yeah. I have a bag of those too. But Dylan felt like these cheese curls earlier, so I opened them and gave him some.
You did?
You gave him
That's so
some?
nice of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're a good friend.
I think they were looking away when you did that, which is a really
Yeah.
good thing.
Probably a good thing. Yeah.
We're always looking
Oh,
away.
yeah.
All right. I got a question for everybody.
Yeah.
This week, somebody was at our counter and Lauren was helping him, who is a customer service specialist. And I was in the back doing nothing, probably as usual. And she comes and gets me and is like, hey, somebody's at the counter and they're asking for a discount. And I said, okay, well, what kind of order? What's going on? And she tells me it's like 100-ish shirts and hoodies and stuff. And the order comes to $1,257, including tax. And he says his budget is like $1,100 and he wants to know if he can get a discount. So my question is to you, also Dylan, what do you do?
I can tell
How
you
much
what
was the total
Christina's
bill
answer
again?
is going to be.
The total bill was, including tax, $1,257. He, like I said, he said his budget was $1,100. I go up to the front counter and I'm like, hey,
So he was $157 over.
yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is about 10%.
I would ask about the variables, like how many colors are in the print? Could we lessen it to a single color?
That's probably what we would do
Could
too.
we change to a lesser hoodie? And then I would ask what it was for. And then,
Turnaround time.
yeah, turnaround time too. Like if you need, I definitely wouldn't.
So you're saying you don't discount it. And instead, you look to give him less. Like you just said, I'm going to
Yeah,
make it a
because
couple less
you're-
colors or.
It's not, wait, there's a quote.
So
that's
it kind of
on it.
depends too. So for me, my answer would be, well, it depends on how busy the press is at the time. So I might be like, well, this week I could probably scoot you in because we don't have anything that's urgent or whatever. But obviously I think before I would do that, I would ask those questions. Like, can we lessen the amount? What it is that what is it that was it dark shirts? I mean, I'm guessing for about $12 a shirt, right? So
Well, they weren't
they were
just,
hoodies?
they were both. So it was a mix. It was tees and hoodies, a mix. I don't know the mix, but
I think that you guys someone recently said about like the first 5 years you say yes and the second 5 years you say no,
Yeah.
but we try to do it very crafty. Like
Yeah.
we just because something is not affordable, like it's not that it's unaffordable, it's that it's out of their budget. We just might not fit their budget. There's a handful of other shops in the area that are not in the downtown space that don't have the accommodations and the adorable faces that we have. So they, like that's a part of our cost. So if you want adorable faces and like to be
also
downtown,
our art is freaking awesome. And we're going to stand behind our product though. And not all of them do that.
That's my point, though. Like we aren't, just because we're out of your budget doesn't mean we're not affordable.
Right. But you shouldn't cheapen what you're worth either. Just
that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not, she has points. Like, yes, we have schedule to fill, but that really hasn't been a problem in a while.
The thing that bugs me is it's like you could walk into any store. You could walk into McDonald's and be like, right, but you could say Target. You walk into Target and you're like, okay, I need these towels. You don't take those towels to the front counter and you're like, hey, these say they're $15 a piece, but I only want to spend 12. The dude at the counter is gonna be like, I don't give a fuck. Like they're $15. Like,
yeah.
Get your coupon.
Right. Like, the funny thing is you could walk. That's like a huge corporation. You're just like, all right, I have to spend the $15. But you walk into a mom and pop shop and you're like, hey, can I get this for cheaper? Even though I know you have like way more shit to do.
Is it
time this week?
Yeah. Remember the lady? Some lady called and she was like, so we have online stores for a couple of the local schools, and she was like, I bought 2 hoodies from you, and one of them tore apart in a month. And we had to throw it away. And the other one has a big rip in it. And we're like, okay, like please bring it in. And she was like, I have to drive all the way there. Can't you just send replacements? And
no, I cannot.
We're like, no, that's not, you can't call Target and be like, hey, the shirt that I bought from you fell apart. Like we have to hold people accountable. Reminds me of like that Schitt's Creek scene where like, it's a write-off. The write-off people will pay for it. And I'm like, we have like, if this actually fell apart, I need to contact
our vendor so that we can say,
hey, but we've also never had this problem. You're telling me this one lady had 2 pieces that fell apart within the same time frame. Like, come on,
I had that a little while ago with a store order. Same thing. We sent out these. Ryan Sickler has these night pants. They're just pajama pants. And this dude sends us a picture, and it's like the fucking pocket. Like it looks like somebody grabbed the pocket and just like fucking ripped it really hard, and it was like down the pant. He's like, oh, I got these. I bought these. I washed them. And then like when I took it out of the washing machine, it would look like this. And I was like, no fucking way, dude.
Yeah,
like,
no.
It's not even ripped on a seam. It's like ripped in the middle. I told him, I was like, hey, like, I have to ask, like, did something actually happen? Because there's no way this fell apart in the washer. He's like, yeah, to be honest, I was walking and I caught it on the doorknob and it ripped the front open. He's like, but I just really like these and I can't afford to buy another pair. I was like, don't fucking lie to me and say like they fell apart in a washing machine. Like,
that's what she was like. They faded really bad. I literally the same jacket that my kid has been wearing. She's little. For like
3 years.
Yeah, it's like 2.5 years. It hasn't like I can't be responsible if you don't know how to do laundry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like your policy of you have to return it and bring it back to you because you want to see it. And so we had the same thing.
I have to hold people accountable.
Yeah, we had something pretty similar recently where she was on the phone and she said that the hoodie 2 months ago, the hoodie that we sold her within a bigger order that we sold her, the cuffs were so tight that it was cutting off her circulation. And so we said, okay, bring the hoodie in. And she brought it in. And actually they were kind of tighter than normal. And so we replaced it. It was a 4-color front, 1 hoodie, 4 screens. And it has been more than 30 days. Like it's, typically, right, it's 30 days, but it's been 2 months. And we said, okay, fine, we're going to fix it. And so I like that policy. My answer to the negotiation thing was very similar to yours, because I think that we don't discount. We're not going to discount it ever at the front counter unless I can justify it. And so where we ended up
on it and sponsor it, maybe.
That's something, sure. If you want to, it was for his business. And so I don't know. I don't think that.
That's why we work with a lot of schools. So like sometimes like we can't afford the second location. We're like, we'll print the second location. We're putting our logo on it.
That makes sense. And then, but for us, I just told him, I was like, look, I can't do 1,100. And he said, come on, man, like work with me. I'm going to come back, that sort of stuff, like I'm going to order more. And so instead, I thought, well, like, so I said, hey, can I see the art? And he showed it to me and it was done. Like it was a done file. And so I was like, okay. And there's my justification. I said, okay.
Yeah.
He goes, I go, well, that's good. You have your art done. He goes, okay, cool. And then he said, can you do 1,200?
Yep.
And I said, yes. And here's exactly why, because there was a $57 discount. We charge $60 an hour for art, only because, well, art is, for us anyways, worth a lot more, but it's easy for me to calculate because it's $1 a minute. If it's 30 minutes, it's $30. And so I figured, hey, we don't have to touch his art. And we did it for $12.50. And so that was my justification, because I knew I was going to save money in the art room. And so, but otherwise I wasn't going to budge. Like, I just wasn't. I guess he was going to have to go somewhere else, or he really wanted to go here because he was here, you know?
Yeah.
But
there's enough variables that we have some play. Like I said, if someone has a budget, I try to lead with that. I try to lead with time frame and budget.
How much you want to spend. Yeah. I'll give you the best for what you can get.
Yeah. And the last thing I told him, I said, look at this adorable face. And that sealed.
I'm glad you pulled that card.
That sealed.
It was totally
I was pointing to JoJo.
Well, after he threw up in his mouth, he was like, I guess we can move forward. I also want to go back to that real quick. We were talking about people complaining, and I've done this a bunch of times and it's gotten me out of it, is where you have a customer that you can tell is just, and this is part of what we were talking about earlier about how we're going to say no to a lot more of these people. But there's those people where, like, you know, they're a pain in the ass and you know they're picky about something. You do the order, they get the order, and then they're just the kind of person that wants to bitch and complain about the order to try to get more free shit out of you. So my policy with a lot of those is, say it's a 50-piece order and they get it and they're like, I don't like the color, I don't like this, whatever, we want you to reprint it. And after arguing a couple emails or call or whatever, and you pull the Andy card and you're like, fuck it, I'll redo it. I'm always like, okay, we will redo the order, but you have to ship those back to us.
Yeah.
And like literally,
we have a place to donate. We work with a friend at a church locally, and they take a lot of stuff down to Haiti.
Yeah. So we do the same thing basically.
What I'm saying is like, I'm saying like 50% of the time,
keep it for free.
50% of the time, you won't hear from them again because they don't want to send them back because they
that chick
already
never
sold
came in with her 2 hoodies. Just so you know, never came in. It's been a month.
Being like, stay late, I'll come. And I mean, we work late anyway.
Right, but I'm saying this person was expecting to keep what they already got and sell those and then get the new ones.
Yeah, for
so that's what I'm saying. If I'm willing to spend the $25 to get them back to me, because I know most of the time they're just going to flake out and never. I'm going to pay for the shipping. Like, I will literally send them a label to get those back, because I know once they hear that, they're like, oh, well, never mind. We'll just keep these, because they already fucking sold some.
Yeah. We had a convoluted order over the summer. That was a lot of lessons learned. And there ended up being an issue. I don't even recall what it was, but it was on our, like, partly on our side. And I gave her the options of, you can bring them back and we will reprint, or I will just refund your money. And she wanted the refund, and it was worth it. Like, we had,
just not to reprint it again,
not to go through any of that. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Wasn't that, it was like literally a $200 order though. It's not like it was some big $1,200.
No, it was like $500. Was it? But I guess it was 200. I don't know. But it was not worth the headache to, like, try to reprint at that point.
Right.
And they, like you said, they didn't want to return the shirts. They didn't want to go through it.
Yeah.
So before we do our listener question, I have a question for you. Would you do it all over again? Leave the corporate world, buy this shop that you knew nothing about?
So if you had asked me within maybe the first, I was telling Christina this the other day, I'm like, I feel like the first 2 years for me were really difficult. I was thrown in. I couldn't sleep. I mean, trying to make payroll and grow business and
that's how
all that
every
stuff.
printer is for the first 5 years.
Oh my God, it's crazy. So the first 2 years I was like, did I do the right thing? I don't know. I left this freaking huge paycheck and I thought it was stressful until I did this. And now I really have stress. Like, I had to worry about my checking account balance and not just what my budget is. Like, I don't, it took me a little bit. Now, absolutely. I would not change a thing. I love what we do. And especially after coming back from Print Hustlers, I feel like even still, like, it breathed almost like a whole new life into us again. Like, you do the same thing every day. So then when you have that, it like re-energizes you, right?
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
You do know.
Well, it's the same like we hear all the time from this show is like people are like, oh, I thought I was alone in like shitty situations. And it's like we talk to everybody and everyone we talk to has the same shitty situations they've been in. They just don't broadcast it to everybody.
Yeah, I think that
We do a hashtag like shitty situations in screen printing.
Yeah.
I think that people in general like to quit about the same time. You know, we all start something and then we all say, okay, I'm done. Like I'm over it. I want to quit generally around the same time. But it's the people who don't and who somehow push through that make it past. You said for you, it was like 2 years or 3 year mark, wherever. So if, for those who don't quit right there, because you want to really, really badly, you push through right there. And that's the difference. That's what makes it.
Yeah. Anybody
special,
could do this, right? I feel like anybody could own their business. Anybody could figure it out, I guess, if they had the right amount of stamina and the right amount of determination. But not everybody has that. And life skills or in their personality or whatever it is. It's not
so, but I like for this job, but it has to be the right fit. Like for this job, my stamina and work ethic is different. I mean, my work ethic is the same, but like, I love this. I haven't, since I started working here, I've not had Sunday scaries at all. I literally like look forward to going to work every day. She paid me to say that. I don't ever, like I genuinely, like I love to teach, but I every Sunday would like Sunday blues in and like,
oh yeah.
And I don't, like, I feel like I found my niche here. I have ADD like through and through and every facet of this industry. And I went to so many punk shows when I was younger that I feel like now I just get to hang out with everyone who's at the punk shows, but now they're like grownups and we're all doing the same shit.
Yep. That's
like, I didn't play in a band, but I was at the shows.
She was a groupie. Don't let her lie.
The fuck I was. I had my own group. But it's different. Like the attrition rate has to take into account if it's the right fit. Like teacher attrition is 60% at 3 years in this county.
What I think is funny is this kind of happened to me recently is I had a printer quit and in January. And it was one of those situations where he just wanted to fucking bail because he wanted to sit home and play Xbox and collect government money and get that extra bonus money, whatever. So when he left, it was like a shitty situation just because he just fucking bailed. And then I was always like, all right, well, he's just living off government money, whatever. And then recently I had another printer quit for different reasons, like personal reasons or whatever. But it's funny because now both of them are going to start their own shop, not together, separately. So the one that left in January has a shop now, basically just went out and got in debt and bought everything he needed to do a manual shop.
Cool.
And then instantly my heart warmed. Like as soon as I knew that happened, like he could have gone anywhere. He could have got another job, could have done this thing. I would have been like, all right, whatever, he's got another job. But knowing that he's starting a screen printing shop fucking warms my soul because he has to go through
everything. But you know what? You have now made a legacy. So he'll learn everything that you had to learn.
But what's funny is the reason why some of these people leave is because they're like, oh, like you have it made and it's so easy and you're collecting money and I'm out here doing all the work and all this other stuff. And it's like, okay, now you get to do it all just like I did. Let you learn how fucking hard and difficult it is to do the whole thing. Like, yeah, you knew how to print shirts on an auto. Now you have to learn the entire industry to figure out how to manually print these shirts and do sales, which you have zero experience in.
And art
and separations and fucking taxes and insurance and everything else. I'm just saying the funny thing is both of them left and decided that what they wanted to do was own a screen printing shop. And it was literally a fucking like glory moment for me to be like
workman's comp.
Right. Yeah. And it's just like, nope, you guys have fun with it. I wish you the best. Like,
you know, what would be great is if a few years from now you get a phone call or a stop by and it's just like, hey, sorry, I was an asshole. I get it. I get it now.
Yeah, that'll never happen.
It might.
Swallow your pride.
No.
Nah.
Yeah.
Optimism.
So anyway,
Okay, so listen.
you guys ready
I know that it's like not to be like annoying about it, but during COVID, I
let's keep it up.
like to help with payroll.
Yeah. I don't know why we're doing this, but we started. So
Okay. So during during COVID, to help with payroll, like I just went out on layoffs and I volunteered for like 2 months. And I'm lucky to be able to do that, but like wasn't trying to
Drain the bank.
or
That's a
take
different.
money.
That's
Like,
a different story. That's not like just being like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna live off the government and I'll figure it
but
out
that's
later.
my point though. That's how much like I love all of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like she,
You know, like I wasn't like, fuck it, I want to play video games. I was like, fuck it, I'm still going to show up and make some
This
math.
was like, hey, let me find a fucking excuse to quit here so that I can go home and like.
Yeah, I needed
do
an
nothing
excuse
and
to
collect
come
money.
here. Like we hired like a nanny to help with the kids so I could get out of my house and come to work.
All right,
I need an excuse to get to the shop at that point. Yeah.
Let's do
What
some
you got,
listener
Dylan?
questions. You want me?
Yeah, let's
well,
do it.
I got them.
I don't have a single one. Yeah, this is on you.
Amy at what'd you call it? Threadbare? What did you call it? Threadbabe?
Thread babe.
Amy at Threadbabe says, is your shop climate controlled and how does Florida weather affect your print flow?
Good question. We are not climate controlled. I am going to be working towards that. But my freaking girls sweat their asses off all year round. That's the answer. We did put in some good ventilation and some fans and the garage door. They shifted their hours, especially during summertime. So now they're like 7 to 3. So they're out of here before the sun really peaks and kills it in here.
The shop faces the west.
Yeah.
So like around 3:00 is when it starts to get real rough in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I got a bunch of good questions, so I'm going to try to rapid fire these.
Great.
Amy also says, do you think adding engraving to a print shop is worth it?
Okay, first of all, I freaking love Amy.
Yes.
I had the best time with her.
Truth.
Yes, I do love her too. My answer to the question, we probably disagree. Christina's going to say no, and I'm going to say it depends. For us, I bought a sporting goods shop. So we already did plaques, trophies, awards. So for us, it was really just an addition to be able to do patches and whatever. And tackle twill, obviously. So we can pretty much cut anything on the engraver. For the average business, I don't think it's worth it.
If I had a screen print shop, I don't like, unless I knew that a lot of people really wanted patches and I didn't have a good source to get them, I might consider it, but no, I wouldn't. I think it's dying. I think that workplace recognition is still a thing, but I think that nobody wants a friggin' wood grain plaque. I would give them like often we try to talk them into like a cup, like things that people can use instead of
Right, like a tumbler or something.
yeah. tumblers.
Have you considered just discontinuing that service? You know, moving away from it. I mean, maybe it's a big profit center for you. I don't know, but I mean, if it's distracting.
We're the only game in town.
Yeah, we're the only ones left. So it is. But the person who left, the only boy who left, was doing the engraving. So we are not hiring to fill his position. We are Christy and I are going to engrave while we do office work.
Yeah.
So that works out for us.
I mean,
Well,
which
I
works
hope
out
you guys keep
pretty
it.
good. I mean, that
I hope
machine
you guys keep it because I sent you my leather patches and they came out awesome. And I want to buy all my leather patches from you guys. So if you get rid of it, I'm screwed.
Oh, like this one?
Like that one.
Yeah, thank you. We're not getting rid of it.
No, we're not getting rid of it. We just bought a new one. Not that I'm super pleased with it. That's a whole nother story on its own.
All right. You're not letting me
Definitely
rapid
not
fire these
hiring a
questions.
full-time person for it at this point.
No.
Like the balance was supposed to be engraving and social media, but it didn't work out that way. So
Yeah.
Okay. Allison asks, when are you guys going to get a keg of Mick Ultra in the shop?
So we really like to drink out of cans, Allison. So we're going to stick to cans. Also, there's a adorable little market in downtown that we'd rather support and buy the
That's a
cans.
good answer.
I don't know what she's talking about. I would totally buy a freaking keg. It'd be way better for us.
Okay. Matt Cott asks, On a scale of 1 to 10, how good were Marcotte's dance moves in Fort Worth?
Oh,
Oof.
You really have to think about this.
I do because
Give him-
like,
give him-
not have been that good.
Give him a 1 to 10
like
scale.
like if I had to overall, I'd say like a solid 9. Like they
Not bad,
started
man.
a little in the beginning, like a little, but as he went on, like I really elevated. I was really impressed. So a 9.
Okay. The more intoxicated he got, the better it was.
I think he was intoxicated by the Britney Spears thing. So and the
Okay.
tan.
All right, this is the most important question, and I want you guys can elaborate on it a little bit. Does being women in a male-dominated field change how you run your business?
change how I run our business? No, but it definitely, if we were a little, trying to think of a PC way to say it, if we were like more pansy, we might be like, I mean, honestly, it is a little intimidating, but we both came from like corporate world is all male dominated work, even in education. So like school level education is women, but administration is generally men, and all of HMH was men and Boston men at that. So and you were in building supplies. Like we're accustomed to it. I think we're used to it. We're used to being the odd man out.
Odd woman out.
Woman. No,
I mean,
we're going with the straight normal idiom. We are the odd man out. I don't want any special treatment.
If anything,
that's the answer to the question, is that you guys feel like you are more than capable of doing this business. And
we're fucking capable.
yeah.
We're fucking capable. That's not the problem. The problem is if we need to learn something. I feel like we've lucked out that everyone has been kind, but I think that some people are like, you do screen printing, you run a screen print shop.
Yeah.
I remember being in Fort Worth and meeting someone, and they're like, they thought I was like just someone's friend who like lived in town. And they're like, you run a shop? I'm like, I fucking run a shop. Why?
Right. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's like your competitive advantage. You know, it sets you apart. You're different. Your shop is special. It's
adorable faces.
It's right.
It is special. And I think that we definitely offer something that not every other screen print shop offers. I mean, when you come in here, you feel like you're taken care of, right? So, and not that not every other screen print shop can do that.
They don't. We're the only ones.
Well, the other part too is that there's a lot of like, just because screen printers are male doesn't mean that all the customers are male. So you guys have the women's perspective toward all the women that are trying to order something.
I'll be honest, we probably get more men customers than women.
Right. Well, when you do have a woman customer, you have the advantage of knowing more what they're thinking.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm not going to sell
and they're comfortable.
Stupid lady shirt with tiny sleeves that she's not going to feel comfortable in.
Have you ever been disrespected, like by maybe a salesperson or a customer that is like, okay, well, you know, where's your boss or where's the manager or something like that? Yeah,
one time, extra sassy, I just like did a turn and I was like, here I am. How can I help you? That's our manager.
The best possible one.
Yeah.
And you did like this. Like, how can I help you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Were you there? Was it you?
Probably not me so much. I think probably because when I come up, I'm like, hi, I'm Chrissy. I own the place. And then they're like, oh.
You throw in the
don't fuck with me because I'll punch you in your face.
Okay.
That sounded very confident too.
Yeah, I love it. It's awesome.
Was that the last question?
We're both Christina.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that makes it easier too. Yeah.
I have someone to blame for my mistakes. And sometimes I can take stuff off your plate. Because they're like, oh, I'm looking for Christina. I'm like, oh yeah, I got you. How can I help you? Like if they call and ask for Chrissy, then I know that they like know who she is. But if they're like, I'm looking for Christina, the owner, I'm like, here I am. How can I help you? Because that means you don't really freaking know her. And she's not going to get shit done anyways. She's too busy.
We still get people calling for the old owner. Can I talk to Mike? When they call for him, I'm like, oh yeah, actually.
Oh, I tell my Mike.
He's out today.
Then you say
I
Mike.
I'm Mike. Mike Hunt. Yeah. Yeah. I'm Mike. How can I help you?
Do you guys have any questions for us?
Yes. 1 million.
Let us pull our shared note out.
Okay, pick your favorites because Andy's got dinner reservations tonight.
Damn, what time do you have?
Annie? What the hell?
Yeah, you should have
We
known
still
better.
got some time. We still got some time.
Just invite JoJo here. She would want to be with us anyway.
Sure, I talked to her earlier.
She would have a blast, I'm sure.
All right, let's see here.
Okay. Hold on.
Look, I want to know about that one.
The top one. But I
maintenance.
think you should
They
wait.
have so many, they have to weed
This
through
one.
them.
Hold on, no. I think we should do it this one and then you shop on. Okay. I'm gonna
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
this one. Okay. I want to know what weird thing works for your shop that probably one would not work in any other shop. Like what's like we've been like stuck because of COVID and everything kind of because Derek and then the next year was COVID. So we haven't visited a ton of shops. And then when we visited Joe and Nate, we were like, they're like, oh, I don't know, this is weird, but it works here. And I was like, what are the other things that people have in their shop?
Like what was weird at their place? They said
Their dark room was like separated,
Yeah,
but they had to
they're getting ready
reorganize
to
it.
fix that though.
Well, they already kind of shifted it. Who came and visited and they would like move stuff around? I don't know, whatever it was, like it works for
I don't
them,
know.
but I feel like I would be annoyed having to like schlep it. But I mean, you do what you got to do also. So I just was curious if there's anything like what's weird at your shop that totally works,
I
but
also put shirts on grocery carts. I mean, that was pretty awesome.
grocery carts, funny. Like what works for y'all that if
I
someone
feel
came
like-
into the shop, they'd be like, what the hell? And you're like, I don't know, man, it works.
I feel like I have a very, when it comes to actually like printing and a workflow and stuff like that, like I feel like a lot of our stuff is very fine-tuned and by the book and more like industry standard kind of things because I research a lot of that stuff and I try to make sure that stuff's in place. But I think the thing that is here that isn't at a lot of places, which me and Andy have talked about before, is just how fucking HR is a nightmare here because we all say the grossest, dirtiest, vulgar things to each other that it's very difficult to get people hired here without being like, are you going to sue me at some point?
Listen, if you're going to fire anyone for HR stuff, it's going to be us.
Right. So that's my thing is I feel like everything else here is kind of by the book and we're very clean and organized and we get a lot of shit done. Other than like equipment wise, we're all very like by the book. But I would definitely say it's our culture of just being dickheads to each other.
For us, I think it's
Feels like a
probably,
cop-out answer for the record. Go ahead, Andy.
I don't know. I think the only thing I can think of right now is that when we took over one of the spaces, there was a restroom already there. And so we didn't want to demo it. And so we kept it there. The only thing is that we put the break room right next to it. So like the door opens into the restroom from the break room. And so,
So if someone
Does
takes
it-
a hot shit, they have to smell it while they eat lunch.
It's right by
girls.
the-
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
Is it coffee or?
yeah, it's right there. It's right by the coffee maker. But I would say that it works here sort of, but I don't recommend it. Yeah. That's the only thing I can
Pretty
think of.
easy to move a door.
That one.
Don't listen to her.
well,
Our bathroom opens up into Jen's fucking graphic design.
Yeah, but Jen
office,
is the
so-
one that usually uses
I know, but like, I'm just saying that like,
So that bathroom on one wall, there's an electrical panel, and
Oh,
it's
also
fine.
it
You can't
has
do shit. It's fine. That's
it's
all
ADA. It has to be
You
measured
can do shit, but not.
exactly all that stuff.
Okay, next question.
Next question.
I want to know about your maintenance schedule.
No. Okay.
Yeah,
I
that
do
was
too.
what I
I
wanted
wanna
to
know
know,
about our
like the
maintenance
real
schedule.
deal. Like, when do you guys clean your floors and clean all your squeegees? And like, I want to know that kind of stuff.
Never.
I put it on the calendar. So I have recurring things
Like
on the
weekly,
schedule.
Monthly.
It depends on what it is.
Almost
Like
done.
it depends on what it is. So like for the air compressor, I do like every 6 months, like change the oil, change the filters, everything else. If it's the squeegee blades, I have one for whites and I have one for just the standard color blades where regular whites, I'm like, okay, change every 2 months or whatever. And the color ones are like a month or two later or whatever. And then for press maintenance, I have every other week, I have a blue item on the schedule that says do press maintenance. But both of our presses also have like their own maintenance calendar in them. So it'll tell you when it needs maintenance. So the dryer and both
right
presses.
in the middle of a huge job.
Ours does.
They're like,
It'll
literally
flash
pops up
on.
the screen. You have to like press
It'll pop up and say, do
Yeah.
this
your fire
maintenance.
alarm needs a new
Mhm.
battery in the middle of the night.
You can snooze it though.
Yeah, you can snooze it,
Mhm.
but I mean, I'm just saying it'll let you know. But as far as like shop cleanliness, it's more of a policy here that like if you make a mess, clean it up like right then and
Doesn't
there.
work out.
But as far as like just overall lint and dirt and shit like that, my mom cleans every Sunday or every Saturday.
We are also a mom.
Yeah.
Cleans our shop.
Christina's mom
Sure.
cleans our shop. Like, although today
She does the
we had our print girls in here. They were kicking their
well
asses.
over here, but my mom
Yeah.
does like the shop.
Yeah,
shop.
over the shop.
And she also presses that. So, yeah. And organizes
Andy?
back.
How about you, Andy?
We're terrible at a maintenance schedule. We need to have a Google Doc that I don't know if that's what you have, Dylan, but I need that.
I just have the calendar and it reminds me on that day to do it. Or
That's
whatever.
smart. And so we need that. We have some piece of equipment that tells us to do it, just like you said. As far as squeegees go, we had this discussion pretty recently that I don't know how many squeegees we have here. I would call it 15, 45, towards 50, maybe, squeegees and floods. But I would want we had this discussion about buying 50 more because we never want to be in a spot where we have a job set up and we're cleaning a squeegee and flood bar and that's delaying us, printing, because if shirts aren't going down the dryer, it's absolute failure. Ryan Kasperian.
Hear that?
So
2 days ago.
We're like trapped in Cleveland. It's not like I didn't want shirts to go down the dryer.
She's
it's
like, just relax. No big deal. I'm like, I'm going to die. It's not running right now
For
because
the
we're not
record,
there.
I was like in the subway booth, like steaming hot, pissed about missing our flight. And she was like, I don't know why you're so down. And then the next day she was like, there's no shirts. And so we just bounced each other out. Yes, I agree. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad. You want, that's what pays the bills. And so you want shirts to go
I
down.
get it,
the
but
dryer.
it's
And
not
if
like we just
Yeah.
were trapped. That's all. Fucking Cleveland.
yeah, that was out of your control.
Rock.
That was out of your control. But the guy who I hired on Wednesday or whatever, the guy who came in that I told you about his story.
The
First
guy
of
who's
all,
going to
his
forget you exist on Monday.
time out. His name's Andy. So there's that.
That's why you like him. It's so cute.
Well,
He's like a mini you.
for the record, I do call you Dandy. So maybe that will stick.
Well,
Dandy.
I'll tell him that. I'll tell him that he has to call me Dandy. I'll tell him that on Monday. We'll see how that goes.
We could call you Andrew. Is that
It could
your
be
full name?
Andrew and Dilly. We could do that.
My name's
Andrew?
actually Jay Andrew. But
Oh.
here's the thing. We decided, so what his role, half of his day is scraping screens, cleaning squeegees and flood bars and putting inks back. That's half his day. Because that solves the problem. Yeah, we could buy 50 more squeegees floods and we would never run out during the day because we'd have 100. But somebody's got to clean them, right? Eventually. And so,
Yeah,
the more you have, the more they're just going to wait to clean them.
Right.
It depends. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. And that's your question.
Have you guys ever rebranded? And if so, do you have any tips? Because we're in the middle of that.
I think
Not
Andy
talking to
might
me.
have the best answer for that because of going from one shop to another.
Do you want us to
okay.
fill the space with conversation while you think?
Well, you had
We'll
you had-
explain to you what's happening so that you can think about it. Okay.
I was trying to understand what Dylan meant.
you had one shop and it was branded a certain way, and then you had the opportunity to start a whole nother shop and you did things differently.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
For me, I've never rebranded. I mean, our color, one time I did actually, because when we first started, we were black and yellow. And then somebody started a screen printing company near us and made their company the same color. And they called it almost the same name. And so I said, well, I'm not being that color anymore. And so I just went to black and white. That's the only time I've ever rebranded.
Yeah, but I feel like okay, here's the thing. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know where you used to be, but I do know about Surecom. So that tells me that you're killing it this time.
Thank you.
So what do you think is different this time than last time, other than like adorable faces?
Right. I would say social media, because last time it was pre-Instagram. And,
You think it's just social media?
I went hard into social media. I didn't know what SEO was. And we were like, our way to reach the world was through Yellow Pages, and that's the way the world worked. And, if they wanted screen printing, you'd open up Yellow Pages. You didn't Google the business and look at the reviews or anything like that. You looked at Yellow Pages, and we took out Yellow Pages.
Your last company, like a screen printing.
That's smart, right?
Yeah. Screen printing.
But then it changed. The world changed, right? And so I hired an SEO person that worked here. His job was to get us found.
Is he still there?
And nope. And this was a long time ago. I don't know when this was. It was probably like 2012-ish or something, maybe. And so we went after it like that. And that's how we Google has its ways to its search engine, its ways that it finds a company. And I did all those things. And so that's how we were discovered anyway in St. Louis. Yeah.
So you don't think it has anything to do with what your logo looked like or
the name of the company or any of that?
I mean, I think, no, not the way the logo looked, or maybe the name of the company was different. And so you wouldn't forget it. But mainly it was, I wanted to be, when you searched screen printing St. Louis, because that's what we are. We're a custom screen printer. This wouldn't be a thing for Dylan, I don't think, because his clientele is different. But back then when I did this, I wanted you to be able to do a Google search for screen printing or t-shirts or something like that in St. Louis. And I wanted to pop up.
Makes sense. Oh yeah.
Next question.
Last one. We have plenty more, but we'll wait.
Fine.
I mean, so we don't want to eat up your
I
entire
know that you
night.
guys know everybody, but is there anyone in the industry that you'd like to meet that you haven't already? Also, I have one more question after this. It's not screen print related, just for the record. So anyone in the industry that you haven't met in person or that you've admired? And when I say industry, it doesn't mean like someone, it could be like artist.
Anybody in,
like,
graphic design, anything.
or whatever, screen print. Also, this is where you both have to be kind of humble. So.
You already know each other.
And you know us.
Yeah. Now you've met everybody with us. Just saying.
I don't know, man.
For me, I want to meet a lot of these people in person. So like, I want to meet.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, who do you follow that you're like in person? I've never like.
I feel like most of them I already
relegated
talked
for
to,
2
though.
years.
I want to go and hang with Alan from Proper. I want to meet, when I go back to Palm Springs in a few months or a couple months, I want to meet up with Windmill and Chill. I want to meet Gabe from
Windmill and Chill. Make those shirts.
Yeah. Scott King. Oh my God. I got to go down to, is he in Virginia? Yeah, he's in Virginia. I got to meet Scott.
He's
there's
going to
just
be
a
on
lot
our
of
East
people.
Coast tour.
That's right.
We're going to go on an East Coast tour.
We sure are. We're going to start at upstate and we're going to work our way south.
Hey, me too.
Okay.
We'll
We'll
be
do
with
two
us.
separate vehicles. We'll make Chad edit it all.
I think as far as I don't know, just people you hear about in the industry that are like really, really good at something that you kind of just want to pick their brain and sit down. I mean, there's some of them, but I feel like I've met most of them. The one that we haven't yet, which we might have on the show here shortly, is Danny from Denver Print House.
DeVito?
Danny DeVito. He's a great screen printer. He needs a stool in order to print, though.
You need a stool. Are you kidding me?
We need a stool, probably.
That's my next question. Push or pull when you're manual printing?
Allison. We need to get Allison a stool. We need to get the companies to like make a stool, but whatever. Okay, Danny.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I've met most of the people.
No one on Instagram that you follow. I have to stand up. I'm sorry.
I mean, I feel like a lot of them I talk to enough that like I already know enough about them. Like, yeah, I want to meet them in real life. Like I want to give, like you said, I want to give Scott a hug or, shit like that.
I didn't, you don't have to qualify why you want to meet them in person. Just if you want to hug them, that's fine. I just was curious.
I just want to hug everybody.
So those
Seemed
are
like
real suspenders. I thought that was a screen printed T-shirt.
Oh, no, they're for real. They're bones.
Halloween.
It's Halloween. She only gets to wear them like once a year. Well, maybe twice this year.
I wear them twice a year. Okay, the last question is, what is the best and worst shows that you've ever been to for concerts?
Best and worst.
While you think, I'm going to tell you the worst concert I've ever been to in my whole life. It was Sugar Ray. And it was
At Long Beach last year.
Yeah.
No.
Mine was Vanilla Ice, and it was my first one.
He was terrible. He hangs out here. He's dating a girl
He's
at a
from
bar.
Port St. Lucie,
He lives
just
in Port St. Lucie.
literally
But
5 miles away from it.
it was like 2001. Like I literally walked away, and I don't walk away from shows. Like I stick out the shit shows. It was so bad. Does that give you time to
So
think?
now,
What's your
what are
favorite
your
show? you
favorite
ever-
and worst?
Okay, best is wrong.
Oh, my
Favorite
bad.
and worst.
My favorite shows probably would have to be earlier time, Every Time I Die shows I've seen, because they're from Buffalo, and when you're in Buffalo, everyone goes fucking crazy. So those are like the most fun shows. Also, when I lived in Georgia, one of my favorite bands of all time still was The Chariot, and The Chariot was from Atlanta. So it's the same thing. It's like when you see a band you really like play in their hometown, those are by far the best shows because everybody goes crazy. The worst show, I'm not going to count as a bigger band show, was just a show that we played at one point, and we got like talked into playing, and it was like in a field at some guy's like shack.
Your worst show is your own show?
Yeah, by far. And they had like it was like a fest thing, and there was a pig roast, and when they cut the pig's head off, like uncooked head, they hung it on top of like the stage thing on like a hook. And then these like super gross metal bands were playing, and they reached up and grabbed the head off a hook, and they were passing it around, like taking bites out of it.
Oh no!
They not know trichinosis.
And there's other super gross stuff about this show.
Okay.
That this dude, like we ended up playing, and this dude came up to us, and he started like jerking off in the crowd. And when we were done, he said, "You guys were good, but not good enough to get me off."
You're making Andy blush. Look at him.
So that I'm gonna say that was the worst one I've ever been to.
But why?
It's pretty bad.
Just kidding. Go ahead, Annie. Your turn.
Gosh, I have so many best though.
Perfect.
I was sitting here, I can't even.
You can tell us like you want to do like top 5. How many best? Top 3. Tell us your top 3.
You're gonna say Nine Inch Nails.
Ooh, I bet.
Definitely 9 Inch Nails. Yeah.
Sure.
311.
Another one would be
311 is a good show.
311. I saw
With Modesty
I wish,
We see them with
but I
did.
saw them.
We saw them.
We did.
Not
So
together.
they're actually,
ironically.
of course, Dylan knows this, but they're friends of mine, and
What?
I went to high school with them. But
311?
and
How dare you?
so I saw them here in St. Louis before they blew up. They came through, and they're like, "Hey, we're playing a show." Tim did. I knew Tim the best, and so I went down. I brought all my friends down. Nobody ever heard of them, and there was only literally like 20 people there the first time I saw them when they came through, and that was I actually went and. Well, that's a long story, but that was a great show.
Story long.
And the top 3 that I told you. Oh, and I told you Van Halen. Yeah. So Van Halen. That's where I lost a lot of my.
You
hearing.
saw Van Halen? Van Halen or Van Hagar?
David Lee Roth, Van Halen.
Nice.
And
Get it.
That's awesome.
I couldn't hear for about 3 days, and then it was never the same after that. But I can hear okay, but it was loud.
Perfect.
Worst? I don't really know. I don't have one. I saw Kool in the Gang. Like as a
Oh yeah.
like
You did not go to a concert. It was like, oh my God, I thought you were gonna be so much better. You're not.
I don't know.
That
Not
was
really.
cool in the gang. That's what he's saying.
I mean,
Maybe,
cool.
probably, yeah.
I just think he's saying that because they're not that cool. But like, who? You were not like looking forward to a concert, and then you're like, oh shit, this is
I
not.
had 1 free tickets to Kool in the Gang. That's why I went.
Okay.
I think the one time I was surprised, I went to Coldplay, and our buddy owns a Honda dealership in the next town over. And he was like, hey, we're going to go to a concert tonight. Do you guys want to come? And I was like, yeah, sure. Why not? So we get there and I'm like, I knew Coldplay, but I didn't really know Coldplay. And we're like down there. I was like, oh my gosh, mind blown. They were so amazing. It was like such a surprise how good they were.
Oh, UB40 was like that. I thought I knew like one song and turned out.
You knew the whole friggin' thing, right?
Not that many.
Whole set list.
Okay, are you guys ready for quick takes?
Sure.
I don't know. Hold
Oh
on.
no, shit. We got to do shop packs.
Oh shit. We got a whole, yeah. I do have to say, my girl used wipes before you guys told us to. Just saying. We're kind of old, like maybe because we're all chicks. We had to wipe baby
We already
butts.
had babies. We just like brought, like literally we ran out of wipes one day. I'm like, I have a case in the closet I'll bring in.
Yeah. She's not even kidding.
So I had some ink on my shoe this week when we went to work out next door. And they have in their basement, they have AstroTurf. And I just like put like 10, it was black ink. And it was probably 10 marks in their turf. And I'm like, oh shit. And so he's like, oh, don't worry about it. I'll clean it. And he grabbed a water bottle and a rag. I'm like, no, that's not going to work. And I said, do you have any like baby wipes around here or disinfectant wipes? And he's like, oh yeah. And boom.
Baby wipes will get blood out of things.
Unless it's red ink. That shit freaking is everywhere. God, why is red so bad?
Which the question is, what's actually in these things that's wiping ink off so easily? Because you're wiping it on your kid's asshole.
That's true. Have you ever wiped a child's ass? I mean, I'm sure you did, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Gross.
Yeah, but you're wiping that chemical into your kid's asshole.
I think it's just a really good base. Like it's a solid cloth.
Yeah.
It's not so much into the asshole, Dylan. It's more.
Well, you don't poke the whole thing and then pull it out?
No, that's for your eyes only, apparently.
Oh, I thought that's how you cleaned it. You just shove the whole rag in and then you pull it out.
I am a professional diaper changer, so I know how it's done, and it's not done like that.
Nope.
See here, you don't know what you don't know.
COVID shut the world down. How do you know?
Right. Now I know. I feel bad for my kids now.
Okay.
All right. So we have a couple Printavo things. Go ahead. You do that.
No, I'll do
Neither of us know about Printavo, so.
Perfect.
You what?
But it's a hack. Yeah.
We're going to talk to the Printavo people.
Yeah.
You guys just turn your heads. There's nothing to say. Hey, friends who use Printavo, we have a couple hot tips for you. One is the pickup approval. In the drop down on the right, where you can do like approvals or, I don't know, artwork, whatever you create, we made one for pickup. So when someone picks up their order, we click pickup and then we type their name in. Sometimes I just write my initials because I don't want to ask their name. But at least it marks it in the summary below the invoice so that you know
that it was actually picked up. So then if somebody calls later and they're like, hey, is my order ready? I could be like, oh,
actually,
Jill Smith picked it up.
2:35.
Yeah.
I know that the power schedule is coming probably pretty soon. Fingers crossed.
Does anybody know a timeline on this business? Is what I want to know.
You're not supposed to say that. We're on the beta list.
Dying.
No, it's fine. I'll tell you what Laura said. But okay. So there's already we have so many categories, like statuses. So we choose the status that is the bulk of the order. And then we have tasks that auto assign. So like if we have an order that's a majority screen print and then some embroidery, I go in, once I take the order, I drop it into screen print order queue or quote, whatever the process is. And then I go into tasks and I click the task that is combo screen print. And then the next task I assign it to the screen printer. I do the task for combo embroidery and assign that to embroiderer because it won't live on the embroiderer's calendar. So that way they know
there's something on that.
Something's out there. It just is not on your actual calendar right now.
And so how do you, so let's say you have a box from embroidery and a box from screen printing. Okay. And let's say the screen printing finishes first and
you'll shift it to embroidery.
You don't call the customer, right? Because what if the customer stops by and they're like, hey, is my stuff ready? You give them.
If it's on the same order, it stays together. That's what the combo is.
It doesn't always happen that way.
It does always happen that way.
We're perfect. I mean, we're always perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because sometimes at pickup, they'll pick up a box and it's screen printing box. It's one of their boxes, but there's actually another order, and they leave, and we either realize it.
That's the task. Like then our screen printer knows, like, oh, this is screen printing, but I had a task that means it's also embroidery. So she is not to mark it completed until she talks to the embroidery department. Yeah, but 9 times out of 10 embroidery stores. So
nice.
Well, we had 2 orders in this week that got marked completed.
It's
that
weird
actually
week.
had
Stop talking
embroidery. She's going to tell you everything is perfect. We're just perfect.
Okay, now it's your turn. QuickBooks Sync. This is your favorite.
Oh yeah. Well, I have other ones.
Well, we're
Okay.
on Printavo.
So I don't know if everybody
Printavo.
uses. Yeah. Okay. Are we going to give everything? We're going to
This
do
is
all
the
of it?
best. They
No,
just
just
like,
those 3.
All right. So, Christina, her bookkeeping skills were terrible. And I hired a bookkeeper, but we also joined QuickBooks Online, which was life-changing. I don't know if you guys actually use that, but with Printavo, there's like, you can make it so that a status, for example, if you mark it as a certain status, then it automatically gets transferred over to QuickBooks. So then it lives in there as well, rather than duplicating. So we use QuickBooks for all of our P&Ls and all that stuff, since Printavo is really just billing stuff.
It's a lot more than that.
But the
a lot
QuickBooks
more than
Online is way better.
We love you,
It
Printavo.
used to not be good. It works literally seamlessly. If there's a problem and something needs to be changed on the Printavo invoice after it's been synced, we can just go up in the top, the same like drop down that she was talking about, and then mark it that it needs to be resynced, and it automatically goes to QuickBooks with an update. I mean, anytime that there's a payment, the payments all transfer. It's literally seamless.
It was really,
It's
really
amazing.
shitty. And a lot of people are turned off by it, which I
Yeah.
get, because when I first started, I was like, can't we do this? And we couldn't.
No, it was terrible.
So if there's
and even
anyone,
QuickBooks Online used to be terrible. Now it's great.
they're trying to shift away from desktop, which I get. But if there's anyone who hated it, who like quit and they're doing that manual, I used to have to literally,
Enter every freaking ticket, copy the line, paste
I had
it
to
in.
duplicate every ticket from Printavo into QuickBooks.
I was a boss bitch. I didn't trust it.
Whatever. Literally, she's Gen X. So literally I had to copy every freaking invoice. So if you're doing that, please, for the love, check out QuickBooks Online. Because if I got this Gen Xer to like look at it and not like it, there's a chance that you also might like it. I could wait. You would like it, say whatever. It's fine.
We
It's
use,
great.
we're QBO users right here.
What are we doing? This? That's you.
Receipts. and
Oh, okay.
S1s
So
are you.
we also made some email addresses specific for things like we do receipts at varsitysportshop.com. Anytime that anyone buys anything, like if we send someone to CVS or whatever and they buy something, they take a picture of their receipt and they email it to receipts at varsitysportshop.com.
Then they can just throw the
And they
receipt
say like
out, but then it's
CVS,
there if
this
we
much
ever need
money,
to get
whatever.
audited.
And that way, like it becomes a searchable document. In the same vein, we have SR at varsitysportshop.com, which is shipping and receiving. And all of the like Rotor and Sanmar and SNS and whatever else it is, they all go to SR at varsitysportshop.com. That way it's not like
that's a good one. Yeah.
the email,
Yeah, I
like
like
the
that.
order confirmation from her and her. That way, if anyone needs anything, we're like, here it is.
Log into
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not always the same person that's checking in. That's
So there's
Doing
another
ordering or
one that I
whatever.
heard recently from Brian Peluso, Averty, but I'm not stealing. We haven't done it yet, but he made up like a generic email at adverty.com that's how they keep track of notes. So in the Printavo, you can like go to send a message and they'll send a message to that generic email, like whatever it is, messages at adverty.com. And that way there's like a timeline of tracked information that's both in Printavo and in an email account. We haven't done that one yet. He literally just told me that a couple of weeks ago.
in screen printing hack world, my girl Crystal, she found that you could take a carrier sheet and cut it in half, and she'll like, I don't know if you can see, but like she'll put it on like the end here. Because sometimes, especially white, it may like slap up and it'll splatter a little bit. So that'll catch all the splatters, kind of keeps it from going everywhere. Yeah. I don't know if you guys do anything like that, or even if you have that problem.
Sneeze guard.
We do.
Don't give a shit.
You got to slow your flood speed down.
Yeah, well, we were having issues with our freaking air. Now we're better. But
I'm just saying that's why you're getting
occasionally
splatter is because it's going too fast. And
There's no splatter ever.
Well, I mean, not like that, but yeah.
Cool. We changed our Alexa name to Samuel L. Jackson.
Yep.
We have a couple Alexas in the shop.
One in embroidery, one up front.
And if you talk in the front, the embroidery Alexa will hear you and change. So we made the front one. There's options in Alexa, and you can choose naughty,
which is of course what we did.
And obviously, you can be like, tell me a joke or tell me your thoughts. And
Or
so
good
it's
morning.
Hey Samuel is it
How you
helps
call
so
them.
that way you're not messing with other people's shit.
I know everybody has had a hard time finding gloves. Don't
Tell them.
Oh,
I told her not to tell them.
I'm
where we get them.
sorry. Okay.
Okay.
Don't buy them
Skip
in
over
Fort
it.
Pierce at our Walgreens.
Skip over
That's
it.
the best place to
No,
find
the
them.
next one. Chrissy really loves dental tools for weeding
Oh, I do,
vinyl,
yeah.
but I really hate them. I really like Cricut, which is, I know, like a bad word in the industry, but whatever.
She's such a Momo.
Whatever.
Freaking Cricket shit.
Get a line
Okay,
of
one
credit.
more.
Oh yeah. That is definitely a big one. I think every business owner, I think the number
We just
one
struggled
thing.
because of it. That's why. Not us.
Yeah, not us. Another
paying
vendor
us.
that owed us, or another customer
A lot
that
of
owed us a
money.
lot of money. Yeah. The number, like I bought this business and I had an awesome mentor. And at the time I was like, what should I do? Like, what's the number one thing that you would tell me to do in owning a business? I mean, he was a multimillionaire, right? He was like, you need a line of credit. And I was like, I need a what? He was like, yeah, at least $50,000. And at the time, I mean, here I bought this business. It was almost $50,000 when I bought it, right? I'm like, what do I need that for? He's like, well, you need it for whatever. You need it there just in case you have something that you want to buy and you can't buy it. You need it. And I was like, oh, okay. So he like co-signed with me at the time. But this company that what are you doing? Stop trying to put it in my mouth.
That's what she said.
That's what he said.
The company, they like started at the same time that we did, and they have also been growing a lot. They're a local brewery. And I was like, you guys don't have a line of credit? And he was like, no, I'm going to get one right now. I'm like, what the hell? How do you not have a line of credit? I guess it was just a thing, but maybe it's not.
Had a bunch of rich owners, so they felt like they didn't need it, but then they did.
That's a good one. I like that too.
Yeah. Go get a line of credit. Dylan, the last thing, I don't know. When you put your pallet tape on, do you use the roll to freaking roll it down? Because this last week you were like, I get bubbles every time. I also suck at putting pallet tape down, but
I'm talking about when I specifically do it, not when the printers do it, because they do a way better job. But I'm saying for someone who rarely does it, I understand to do it that way. I just had to change like a pallet and I just laid it on and then I had to like slowly move it instead of me using the roll.
okay. All right. Just making
I know that exists. I was just in that one instance. I was like, well, when I do it, I have bubbles. So
Okay, I would like
do
to
know the proper way.
Did you bite your nails before screen printing or?
I've bit my nails my entire life and I have zero fingernails. My dad told me a long time ago that I cried and I hated it so bad that when they clipped my fingernails as a kid, I just started chewing them. And I've done it ever since. And
mine is
I do it so
anxiety,
bad that I have
murder.
I do it so bad that I have like little calluses on my knuckles from where my top tooth sits when I bite my nails.
Oh, I'm not that bad, but it's this or murder. So
it's way worse when I'm stressed out or if I'm thinking about something.
Chrissy's always on me. I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. We murder somebody.
I chew them till they bleed sometimes. Yeah.
You told me you don't chew them. I never see you chewing them.
Whatever, I don't chew them. I pick on them. Whatever.
Okay. Quick takes. You ready?
All right. What's next?
What is one thing you need every morning?
I have to have breakfast and caffeine of some sort. Sometimes it's Red Bull. Sometimes it's coffee, but that's it.
Red Bull first thing when you wake up in the morning sounds.
Yeah, dude. Sometimes it's so freaking hot down here. If I have coffee and it's like 90 degrees outside before I walk out the door, my stomach already curls.
Yeah, iced coffee.
It's not the same. Still. How about you?
Mick Ultra.
She's trying to say sex. Whatever.
Breakfast beer. No.
Breakfast beer.
Breakfast beer.
That is what it's called.
I mean,
You
Well, that's
obviously
great.
don't need it if you can't think of it.
yeah, I don't need anything. How about that?
She just
She
needs
just-
time. She needs time in the
I do
morning.
need time.
She unplugs from the
not
back of her
fucking
head,
talk to
sits
me
up
for,
straight.
like, don't fucking talk to me for like 10 minutes. I need time.
That's a good one. We haven't had that one yet.
Honestly, if it was like a week ago, I'd say coffee. But then we did Chicago and I didn't need coffee. So now I need you to not talk to me. I need,
Not right now. You can talk to her right now.
It's your quiet Zen time.
exactly.
Right. Okay. What show are you currently watching?
Oh, are you trying to tap me? What the
You're-
hell?
You both
I'm not
have to
tapping shit.
answer.
Okay,
You're
well-
first. Age before beauty.
Yeah, that's right. Age before beauty, for sure. I love Blacklist. So we are in like the middle of season 8, and I know season 9 comes out soon, but I'm friggin' addicted. And Yellowstone, but I don't think Yellowstone doesn't come out yet. You guys also watch that, right? When does
Are
it
you
come
caught
out?
up? November.
Yes. Yes. All the shootings at the end. I can't take it.
Shut.
Mhm.
What shooting? You're talking about? Shut up.
Mhm.
Ted
Hey.
Lasso all day long.
Yes.
All the Ted Lasso. All the Ted Lasso every day.
Andy's very into it right now.
That's my favorite show of in the past, I don't know how many years. I just love it so much. And I know it's kind of cheesy
Andy,
because
it's the best show
I
ever
love
made. Ever. I will hang out with Jason Sudeikis like any day.
I've never seen it. I know. I'm terrible.
Ugh.
Okay, Andy.
oh, beach trip or mountain trip?
We don't have a choice, bro. Literally
So-
live on the beach.
It depends
So
on the
many-
time of year. Can I answer
Literally
two
live on the
ways?
beach. Chrissy lives across the
Oh, yeah.
street.
And I
live on the
walk
river.
like
We
2
don't have a
blocks.
choice.
It's friggin' amazing.
Every day is a beach trip. We don't have a choice.
We'll start sending you guys some pics in the morning.
Yeah, that's not fair. We should.
Ah,
I should have.
Lovely.
I already
That's a
sent them
different
on to
question.
JoJo. We said that next time you come to Florida, come here.
But
I'll kick whoever the renter is above the shop in the Airbnb. Lucas, stay there. You guys could stay there. Yeah, it's lovely.
but I will say
So,
in June,
Mountain
mountains
trip?
for sure.
Boat. What?
Just say mountains.
Mountains.
There
We
you
already
go.
have mountains.
Okay.
We don't need mountains.
What advice would you give your younger self?
Oof. Stop stressing. Don't be so anxious. It all works out.
Yeah. I think mine too would be like, trust your gut and start earlier.
No, you can't start any earlier or change everything. You did all the right things.
It's true.
It's true. You did all the right things.
I wouldn't change anything.
No, I just want me to not stress so much.
Enjoy the ride.
Gross. We're so
That's Andy's.
Basic.
Andy said that a bunch of times before.
so basic.
How does
Mine
that
was
go? If you buy the ticket,
buy the ticket, take the ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the name of our business is actually not Varsity Sports Shop. The C
DBA.
Corp is called Nalu IEO, which means wave that never ends. So it's basically a roller out there. Ride the wave.
okay.
I don't know what that
Andy.
means.
I know they're not coastal
She's
people.
told
It's
I
fine.
know.
She's gonna ride the wave.
One
What
won't even go to the
is-
beach.
What is your go-to snack?
Oh.
Oof. Pork rinds. We have like bougie pork rinds though. Nick Ultram pork rinds.
Chicharrones.
They're
They are
not
like-
chicharron.
No, that's
I
what they
guess
call
are,
them.
whatever.
Yeah.
They're like bougie pork rinds.
Yep.
Fucking
So let me get
sour.
this straight. Pork rinds, it's it's pig skin, right?
Yep. It's keto friendly.
I don't know what keto is, but yeah, that's right.
I just can't do it.
You're missing
We'll
out.
send
bro.
you a bag.
I do like pork rinds. My dad loves pork rinds.
Of course
And
he does.
he always
My
eats
spirit
them.
animal.
And when I was a kid, he would always be like, "Hey, you want some pork rinds?" And I was like, I would eat them, but I didn't love them. And now that I'm an adult, I will not choose pork rinds over
Oh,
something else.
fucking
I will
shoot.
eat them. Like if
You
I'm
should see
sitting
us
there
on a road
hungry, I'll
trip.
eat them.
We like raid the gas station.
Oh my
They have like
gosh.
chili lime now.
That and what's the ropes, right? The little strawberry,
Cherry.
sweet tart,
Never
cherry.
Cherry ropes.
Yep.
Okay.
Sweet tart ropes.
Sweet tart ropes. Cherry.
All right. I got the next one, right? Do you prefer
how
a night
organized you
in
guys
or
are.
a night out?
What?
Night in or a night out? Oh, I can go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. You first.
I think you're both going to say night out.
Probably
With each other.
I would say, yeah.
With each
I
other.
mean, yeah, for sure.
I'm not trying to do a night
I think
out
a night
with people
out.
that suck.
Then somebody else takes my plate and does the dishes, and I don't have to like clean up and all that crap. Yeah.
That's not the kind of night out that I'm going to do, but okay.
I start her night out and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to bed now.
And then I walk home.
And then that's when her real night out starts.
That's right.
That is us too. We're mild boys, remember? Except when you're at Print Hustlers. The last question. What's for dinner tonight?
Mild boys.
We just talked about this. Probably sushi.
Noodles.
Yeah. We're going to the Thai restaurant. It's around the corner.
Noodles. I'm actually probably not going to eat anything.
I don't
It's
think you're
Halloween
gonna eat
Eve.
anything.
What do you get at the Thai restaurant?
Me? Oh, I get
Yeah.
usually like a tuna roll. I like sushi.
Mhm.
And I like their
I
noodle
think-
bowl.
I think
have
it's
good
called-
noodles and stuff.
I think I get masaman curry. It's like the one with it's like a yellow
Oh.
with potatoes and carrots in it.
I haven't
It's
had
like
that
a
one.
sweet.
Almost all of them. You can't. I'm sorry.
Okay, so for Halloween, we're going as Wayne and Garth.
Yes. It's very soothing.
So I
right?
feel like just say that we're
You should
gonna
eat
get
the
the
cream of
Sem
Sem
Young guy.
Right. I had that last night.
Did you? That's what she said.
Are you guys are saying you're going as Wayne and Garth, but you sure you're not going as Andy and Dilly?
Yes, we're gonna go with Andy and Billy too.
Okay, so we did that today.
We're gonna double.
Making me do it.
I love that shirt Kong hat exists now.
I know.
I like.
I had a
We
really hard
really tried
time
to make
not
it
making it short
varsity.
dong. I'm sorry.
You should have.
I didn't want to be disrespectful.
Okay, well, we're really glad you guys came on. You guys are a ton of fun, and we really enjoyed hanging out with you guys, and we wanted to show you off. So, thank
Here we
you,
are.
Thank you. Love you guys.
and we'll see you later.
Sounds good.
You Venmo
Love
us
you too.
for dinner last week. Just kidding.
Don't listen to her.
We do
Okay.
owe you dinner. That is for sure.
No, you don't.
No.
Don't say anything.
Just come and visit us. Have
Bye,
fun
guys.
tonight. Give JoJo a hug for us, please.